Who you gonna call? Coonbusters, y'all. This is Dr. Randy Short. Uh, I am happy to be your host of Coonbusters. It is approximately 12:35 a.m. on the morning of December 23rd, 2020. And my host is Brother Kulik. And I just want to give a disclaimer. The views and opinions that I give on my platform are mine. If I say something about, trust me, I believe it. If it's not true, it was close to being so. Um, and the views of Brother Kulik, unless you hear me say I agree with him, unless you heard me say I'm in a full agreement, are his opinion and those of him alone. If you agree with him, please tell the bastards at YouTube that there are a lot of people that don't think like folks who like having sex in latrines, parks, bathrooms. I mean, all the carpet munching people in Silicon Valley, all you deviants, that a lot of people don't think like folks who masturbate on computers. We're actually normal people who socialize with human beings. Having said that, and like my damn disclaimer, you bastards, if someone comes on here and says something that you don't like, unless you expressly hear me say Coonbusters or Dr. Randy Short, Dr. Randy Lancaster Short, or whatever the hell I call myself, says I agree, then that is the opinion of the person speaking. How's that disclaimer for y'all? Now, so who you gonna call? Coonbusters. And we all understand, if I didn't say I thought that, please don't shut my damn channel with 2,000 people. You have folks up there with kiddie porn and shit on there, and y'all have let them do just fine. Now, so we few black people until we have our own platforms and that we don't go to anymore. And then your asses will be out of business, jumping out of buildings as spoiled, entitled certain people tend to do. Asians and white folks love committing suicide. I've never understood it. Damn, you got everything. Anyway, I'm sorry. Sort of, if I offended you, if it causes you to do something with delisting or taking down my page. And personally, on the inside of my heart, I'm not. But professionally and for the sake of my audience, I'm sorry. That's my disclaimer. Now, as for whoever's messing with my computer, I'm going to have to spend money. See why I beg people for money. And if you notice, Brother Kulik's Cash App is under his face. It's run the ball. It didn't say hold the ball or squeeze the ball or bust the ball, but run the ball. Okay. And of course, you want to know how to support me. And the reason I'm going to have to beg for some money, Brother Kulik has sat here for the last 2 hours watching me struggle to get online. I obviously have some kind of sophisticated virus that bothers my transmission. I had a situation where we had brand new cable on our brand new plasma and nothing would work. And I had to have some crooked people in India explain to me that 25 different people were hacked into my computer. December of last year, 25 people from other countries were on my damn computer. I couldn't believe it. I don't have a lot of money. I mean, I don't even have a bunch of sisters with big butts to help me out. I don't have a lot of car, whatever it is. I don't have much of it, but there were 25 people that had hacked into my computer, which is why I couldn't watch cable on the TV here. Let me show y'all, because y'all think I'm lying. I have a plasma thing inside here, right? I'll open it, kind of see it. See the black screen? Okay, the black screen back there's my mother's new plasma she got last year. And we couldn't get on cable because all these people from Russia and China and Africa and Latin America were hacked into my computer. I still can't believe it. Now, the people in India took the stuff off. I didn't pay them. Let's pay back for Kamala. Anyway, but I may have to get some software, some Mac stuff, and put it in Norton. I normally don't use it, and they normally don't attack Macs, but apparently whatever it is that I'm doing has people feeling the need to hack my computer. And these were people from other countries that blew. Look, Tariq Nasheed has 160,000 followers. Oh, that means I got like 2,100. I joke as much as I'm getting. What are they worried about me for? We must really be doing something when we talk about these issues that people need to mess with a little teeny. I mean, I wasn't even trying to look at a porno site. I was just trying to get into Google to send this brother an email. It took a whole hour. So when we ask people for contributions and all, a lot of times now I'm going to have to I'm upstairs out of my studio because my Wi-Fi wouldn't work. This is the more people I've gotten, the more we talk, the more issues. And I know when I had Dr. Stella last night, they decided the people who want to push y'all getting injected decided to shut me down. They would never come out and say anybody that dares try to tell you anything has to be silenced. So, if you put a bunch of viruses, I can't get online, I can't talk to you. So, brothers and sisters, make it rain on me. It's real easy. In fact, keep the request for affidavits so you don't have to get injected. Keep it coming. I think I've sent out as many as 25. Share them with other people. If you write me, I do provide services. wrandyshort@gmail.com is my PayPal, is my Zelle, is my personal email. I do write and respond. Please don't send me long-winded screeds and shit. Please don't make me know you have a mental health problem. Okay, my mother, whose chair I'm sitting in, she's a mental health counselor. She charges $120 an hour, and I envy her ass. Okay. If you have a mental problem, I'll do a referral for you. But please don't bring it to me. And please don't be a crazy sister that's out of your mind. And you want to be in a relationship too. You can't even handle your own mental faculties and you want to be laid up with somebody. Please. Okay. And for all the sexuality people, I would tell anybody, I love my entire family. I love my whole race. However, please don't write me defending being in the wrong. You know that your anus is not a vagina. If it were, it would look like a camel hoof instead of, a shit spigot. Now, you know this, I know this. Okay, ladies, if God wanted us to munch carpet, he would have put floss between your teeth, not pubic hair. So, no, that's not right either. Please don't write me in defense of your abomination against God. Yes, I talk a lot about the LGBTQ thing. Why? Because they've demanded so much more attention than what they deserve. You're 2-3% of the population. You want 100% of it. You want to make people know what you do. Okay. I don't ask. Okay. I'm not curious and I don't hate you. But, you say, get out of my bedroom, get out of the children's classrooms, get out of the church pulpit, get out of politics. Get out of food service if you got one of those penicillin resistant, methicillin resistant viruses or bacterias because of the way you've been living your life. Real talk, real talk. If I was like kind of, had like doo-doo molecules under my fingernails, why would I want to flip someone's hamburger? Why would I want to be someone's waiter or waitress or chef? Okay. If I had all those contagious diseases, why would I want to work in a school around children? Why do I want to work in the hospital? Why would I want to be kissing somebody on a movie set? These are major questions of the cosmos that y'all need to be asking your own asses, not mine. And no, I don't hate anybody on this platform. I have never advocated violence against anyone. I've always told people, as a believer in God, pray for people, love them, but tell them the truth. That's everybody. Except for pedophiles and rapists and racial terrorists. You terrorize my Black people, I don't care what happens to you. You beat up and violate women and babies. I'm sorry. If you look at my face, I'm not happy. I'm still angry about the grandmother got dragged to jail naked in Chicago. I feel hate. I feel hate over Breonna Taylor. I feel hate over Sandra Bland. I've been feeling for 5 years. Okay, as much as we're going to go in on Pork Chop Feminists tonight, where Dr. King says, wherever there's great dissent, there's great love. We love so much until we bitching. Y'all have turned us into bitches. We're doing everything except popping our asses because we're complaining about this. So look, please bless Brother Kulik. He's taking a very strong stand as a millennial male. Sisters, y'all need to hear it. If the cotex doesn't fit, don't shove it. It's someone else's. In fact, you wouldn't want to wear anyone else's cotex. Then you wouldn't want to take the blame of another group of women that are culpable and guilty of what it is he's talking about. It's not you. But you may want to share this to your rude nieces, nephews, friends, associates, or assorted obese women with children from men that they don't know who the fathers are. And yes, black men like me who are tired of bastardy, and yes, many of these women have bastards, and they're bastard-making mothers who are not that good. Proof of that is test scores and all this stuff going down, murder, suicide, all this has been going up under the matriarchy. When the man is not there, it's the same way. If the father's gone and the mother is the guardian, everything that happens to the child is her fault, not the missing father, okay? And we're going to come back and we're going to bring standards, whether pork chop feminists like it or not. It is our mission to, yes, my mission is to be politically incorrect, to disrespect political correctness, to tell feminism to go to hell. In fact, fuck itself, which is what they're doing with this sex toys they buy anyway. So that shouldn't be insulting to them. And, okay. And I want to also say that the movement, what we would call the neo-patriarchal movement and the Black masculinity movement is here. And we want to also speak to the weak-ass black men who think begging for pussy and stabbing other black men in the back like catty bitches makes them a man. I'm sad to inform you that you are completely wrong. And there are a lot of you on platforms that let women come in and say a whole lot of stupid shit. You don't check them because you want to screw them off air. To me, there are other ways to have sex with people. In particular, if you've got some fame, women will give it to you. You do not have to put out bad, false news about black men and or be a chump and make yourself look like a fool to people 1/3, 1/2, 1/50th your age. Hint, 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 coons, I'm talking to you. And having said that, I want to encourage everyone to stay on Coonbuster. The update from Chicago is a date that they plan to go into the city hall and confront Larry Dykefoot. That is the woman that looks like Beetlejuice with the afro wig, who's the mayor of Chicago. Will be, I believe, the second week of January. Stay tuned. The other update is a no-good lesbian, a backstabbing, castrating, black-hating, so-called Black Lives Matter advocate, Muriel Bow Wow, Proud Boy, Ice Queen, gentrification sellout, Bowser, has signed into law that the DC government can inject, vaccinate our black children without parental knowledge or consent, therefore ushering in the era of Tuskegee 2.0, Negro Project 2.0. And we're going to be talking about no good, traitor, pork chop, feminist hoes, bitches, and traitors tonight and this morning. If you have a weak stomach for hearing criticism of the fairest sex, well, there are thousands of people who are now on this platform. You can give up your space to someone else. We will be talking because we have an emergency. When we have black mothers being attacked in their homes, with a white feminist ally witnessing the humiliation of a black grandmother. And it took black men, this is a story you won't hear, black men demanding that black women stand up and be the face, because if they said anything about a woman mayor, they would be called sexist, homophobic. So they needed women. By the way, what white feminism that many black women have allied themselves with have basically muzzled black men where everything, in fact, under feminism, the most violent, disrespectful, hateful, raping women, it's a black male thing. I'm just telling you. As a result of that, Black men don't feel like they can always speak when there's a situation without being called homophobic, sexist, anti-black, female, whatever it is. Black men get blamed for all of it. And folks will always point back and say, well, none of you are good fathers. All of you go to jail. All of you do. So they get buried. So most black men don't want any trouble. So they're silent. We're not going to do that anymore. And the other thing that we have to deal with is that there is now a nascent movement, a very slick, poorly packaged movement of pork chop feminist apologists who are making the rounds to try to counter the nascent masculinist emergence in the black community. It won't succeed. It's very easy to spot a pork chop feminist. Their main trait is hypocrisy, deceit, as well as like not being very attractive, not looking presentable when you go out, not wearing lipstick, not doing your hair, wearing odd clothing, opaque, or basically, 5 and below clothing, ornaments, glasses, you know, when you're wearing Harry Potter glasses or Andy Warhol glasses or other things, ladies, when you're wearing things that are male, it doesn't help your cause. We can see that a mile away that this woman has real desires. She has like an acute case of penis envy. And by the way, because of sex toys, you don't have to envy. You can almost have your own for less than what it would cost to go to to Red Lobster with a real man. So, and that's with a little bit of wine and all, because if you eat kind of cheap, you might not be able to get a sex toy at that price. So throw out a beer and a wine, and yeah, it's you probably could afford to get something to stick in yourself. Now, I want to remind people also that in Rock Hill, South Carolina, within the last week or so, a black man was taken from his house naked and humiliated by the police. Just want to say to you that this happens to black men. The police have been stripping black men naked for years during the war on drugs, touching people's testicles, pulling them. I've actually had an LA policeman feel on my penis on April Fool's Day, 2003 for about 5 minutes, and wondered if I got upset about my penis being touched, would I get shot? So ladies, this has been going on for a while. But it's interesting. I'm glad if it took a black grandmother being dragged from her home for enough of us to say this all has to stop, then that will redeem all the years that I know of where the cops were touching the testicles and buttocks of young black men all over the country and no one talked about it. If it happens to a black female now and then, it makes the news. If it happens to black males, which it does all of the time, I repeat, it happened to me April Fool's Day in Crenshaw, Los Angeles, being stopped by a black gay and white gay police officer and being fondled for about 15 minutes. What happened, luckily for me, is that the man reached in, took my wallet out, and saw my business card that I work for Amnesty International. And then they got afraid. Otherwise, I may have had more problems. The man also bothered my ass for about 4 minutes. It was so embarrassing to have this happen, and people are looking. And of course, when you're a black man, you had to have done something. You deserved it. I deserve to have my ass squeezed on, and for a person to squeeze the tip of my penis and ask me what it is. And I'm thinking if I say something to him, he may beat me up for calling me smart mouth. This actually happened. And I haven't really said this to anyone. And it happens, Kulik. It happens to black men all the time. You get a white gay officer, or they can even have a black police officer with them, and they sit up and laugh at it. There was a black woman that sat up, whose name was Kissy, just like this broad pushing this vaccine, who was watching Eric Garner be choked to death. And we don't talk about that. She could have said, hey, guys, stop. She didn't. Okay, she treasured that relationship being one of the guys with a group of white men. And if a black man gets killed, hell, she's going to get her a bonus and her pension and benefits. And we have to begin to talk about this. We have to say that Sandra Bland would have gotten more justice had her sellout mother and sellout sister listened to the black activists in Chicago that wanted to fight for Sandra, but were told, stand down, and they took the funeral out to a white area. And the family effectively killed justice for Sandra Bland. The mother of Trayvon Martin said that the man didn't mean to kill him. I mean, we've got some very conflicted behavior out here. In fact, I have to say to you, have these murders and shootings. Like often, Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump and others have a team of black women manipulators that visit the mothers. And get the mothers to agree to take a financial settlement instead of getting justice. And they have these women, they surround them, they play on them, and they've been using these black mothers who are the victims of tragedy and trauma. This is true. But they've ended up failing to be a part of creating a movement to stop this insanity. We hope that Washington, D.C. and Chicago give us an opportunity. On top of that, we now recognize that there seems to be a strategic link between lesbian black women who are antisocial Jezebels who hate black men's guts and black people's guts and black babies' guts. And in Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, again, the lesbian, black sellout, pork chop feminist in Chicago, watched videos of the naked black grandmother for 2 years and never told anybody. If it had been a black man looking at naked pictures of a black grandmother, people would be screaming. Black women, a lot of y'all are hypocrite liars that are off your square, not in the game. And because to whom much is given, you're the ones with the best jobs, the most education. Go to any college, the women outnumber the men. 70 the men have gone to jail, the women have gone to college. Excuse me. If you've been blessed that way, then y'all should be far more significant voices for justice. And in fact, what they've been doing, I'm looking at this with the electoral fraud, the face of electoral fraud, are black women helping racist ass Joe Biden that put 5 million black people in jail, primarily men. You're fighting for him. You're fighting for Kamala, who lit out Latino terrorist racists who killed and stole property and homes from black people in Los Angeles with impunity. Kamala let them out of jail and kept the black men in jail for buying the products of these Latinos. It has been black women screaming for this intersectionality and people of color. Y'all are killing us. You're killing us with thinking that the race should be run by women. It should not. In fact, what we can say about the last 50 some odd years of Black America is it's increasingly run by women and it's increasingly in trouble. Somebody's got to own that. And it's hard to hear. And I know he hit me, he touched me, he pinched my titty. I get it. But at the end of the day, if you think that doesn't happen with any other group of people, what I fault Black women on mostly is doing no comparative analysis. In fact, this is how Black women pick mates. All dollars are green, but all dollars are not $1 bills. There are many denominations of dollars. If one black man, you've seen one, you've seen them all, which is the same as saying if all niggas are the same. If that's how you mate and breed and rate people, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Never have. No matter how many tongue-wagging, head-wagging friends that you have that do like this, does not mean that you know anything. It means that you are able to run your mouth. I want to say to you, you look at the Mexicans who are making tremendous gains in this country. and other Latinos. As much as Black women think they're the most abused women on the face of the earth, if you haven't heard about the rape trees that are all along the U.S. border with Mexico, where the Mexican women are raped, even the little girls are raped. And when they're little girls, and in fact, there was a case of one girl who had 40 men's semen inside of her that was left for dead in Texas. I hate that. It's disgusting. It's pedophilia. It's rape. It's violence against women. But you know what? You don't see Latino women on TV mouthing off at Latino men. You do not see Latino women talking about the fact that in Ciudad Juarez, just across the border from Texas, maybe 50,000 women have been murdered, Mexican women murdered by Mexican men who raped them first. Not one conviction. I think that's an atrocity. However, Black women would say they're treated worse by Black men than any other group of women in the world. I would say to you, talk to some social workers about Arabs, about other people, and you'd find, no disrespect, sisters, as fragile and imperfect as Black men are, you're treated better than a whole lot of other women that you think you're treated worse than. Enough of you do not travel. You do not do comparative. You go to Rachel Maddow and Moist Don Lemon, or Porky Pig, Rollover Martin, people who masturbate you, who push the doggerel lie that Black men are the worst men in the world. And if Black men were the worst in the world, I've traveled, let me just say, to some of the places. I've been to at least 3 provinces in Canada. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Cuba. I've been to Brazil. I've been to Qatar. I've been to Libya, Tunisia, right? I've been to Mali, Senegal, Gambia, Niger, Nigeria, Togo, Ghana, Cape Verde, South Africa, Uganda, Rwanda, Congo. Kenya. I've been to Iran. I've been to Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Iceland, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Scotland, Ireland. All right. And that little bit of travel, there's never been any place that I've been where Black men weren't seen as worth having. The reception that I've gotten abroad is always, and I think I went to Cuba, I left it out, always better than here at home. Always. Shockingly better everywhere than here. I will just tell you, I know what it was like back in 1997. I went to Brazil for my vacation. I love Brazil. I love Black Brazilian women. They love cooking. They love cleaning. They love kissing. They love hugging. They love men. Okay? To get to Brazil, come to the United States, go to work at Howard University, and the first encounter I had with a Black American woman was her yelling and screaming at me for something I didn't even do. And I says, wow. The last person I saw in Brazil was a woman deliberately engaging me with her eyes because she knew she was good looking. She wanted me to know she was looking back at me. And her walking around and strutting to show off what a pretty woman she was. And I says, wow, I just left a country where there was more respect. If I were respectful, didn't put my hands on a woman, didn't beat them, didn't curse them, that if I showed respect, I got it. Come to America, I show respect, I get hatred, disrespect. And by the way, all the females were with her and how they talked to me like that. In fact, as a single person, people have asked me, was I gay? I'll tell you something. If I didn't know that other countries existed, I would have some real issues as a Black man dealing with women in the DMV and how mean and cold and hostile so many of them are. So I'll just tell you, if a lady said, here's my phone number, I might not be certain whether I want to call them. In Brazil, if someone gave me a phone number, I'm definitely going to call. I have complete confidence that I'm going to deal with the person For the most part, if I'm respectful, I'll be respected back. Here, I have you know what I'm talking about, Brother Cool. You wonder, damn, what could happen? What if she says I tried to rape her? And, if the lady gives any kind of cues that she's kind of crazy or off, or she's been abused, or she's a lesbian that sort of just wants to have you turkey baste her, you're like, damn. So these are the kinds of things. The reason that we can't come together. Southern women, my sister, Atlanta's Southern. Okay, Black Queen. Atlanta is Southern. Okay, Miami is Southern, Black Queen. Miami has the highest rates of STDs in the country. Just want to say that to you. Um, Atlanta Southern. Charlotte is Southern. Uh, we There are a lot of places that are Southern. New Orleans is Southern. Memphis is Southern. And we have high rates of divorce and other things going on nationwide. We just do. It isn't where you're living in America. It tends to be if you have a father in the house in America. The women that I meet who love their dads, they're Black American women in Miami. Sure, they are. Hundreds of thousands of them. Okay. Just go down Overton, Liberty. They're down there. They're down in Broward County. There are 4 or 5 million Black people in Florida. Yes, they're Black women down there, Jacksonville, everywhere else. And so, no, I'm not going to agree with you. I'm going to say to you that we have a problem nationwide, and the Black woman with the pork chop feminist ideology in Chicago. Yeah, you're from Miami. That doesn't mean that all the Black people are gone. They may get pushed out of the city. They move to Broward. They move to Apalaca. They're there. They're in Florida. I brought up Miami just to make a point that we have dysfunction everywhere. Yeah, they're minimal now, maybe in the last 10, 15, 20 years, but they're still there. There are Black people in Florida in the millions. Check the census. Don't take my word for it. And they're all not up in Jacksonville. They're all not in Fort Lauderdale. They're not all in Tallahassee. They're down in southern Florida too. The Cubans have taken over. Yeah, I said Miami. Miami Metro, Dade County. Yes, there are Black people in Dade County. You want me to go and pull up my phone and pull it up and say how many Black people live in Dade County? It's in the hundreds of thousands. I'm certain it is. Very simply, okay, let's do this because we're dealing with this thing. Now, you tell me the Southern women are more cooperative, and you're going to tell me that Miami-Dade County doesn't have Black people. It's got 2.7 million people in there. Let's do the demographics. I'll pull this up, and we're going to look and see, and I'm pretty certain that you got a few 100,000 people that are Black in Miami. I've had family in Miami for 130 years. People no, they're there. Hundreds of thousands of people that are Black in Miami. How Black is it? Okay, wonderful. Out of in 2010, out of 2010, Black people are about 20% of the population in Miami-Dade County. It's just under. They say 18%. They never count us properly. 20% is a considerable number out of 2 million. So what would 20% be? 10% out of 2 million would be 200,000. So 400,000 people that live in Miami-Dade are Black. I'm sorry. Let's deal in facts, not our emotions, not our perception of what reality, but what it really is. That's a problem that we have as Black men and Black women. Black folks have been in Miami since the city was started. They didn't all get out of, 200,000 people, whatever. 200,000 is significant. There are Black people all over Southern Florida. Miami-Dade, you saw none. I don't know where you're going, but the U.S. Census says it's 20%. So either we need to buy glasses, contacts, or some virtual reality goggles, and you can walk around. There's some Black people there. So I'm going to cease to do that because, I have my guest. I want to warm up, talk, fire him up so we can have this conversation. Last thing I want to say to everybody. I have a new expression. Of course, MFM to all of you. We need to greet him in the great words of MFM. Brother Kulik, MFM means motherfucking money, and we want you to get some MFM. We need reparations. The numbers don't lie about Miami. The black people are down there, sister. Um, it doesn't matter if they move north on the highway, they're still in southern Florida. Broward County, they're down there. Millions of black people live in Florida. Whether people think so or not, there are a million black men who don't have the right to vote in Florida. If there are that many black men that they put in jail, how many folks did they not put in jail? Let's assume it's at least a woman and a child for each dude they put in jail. That's 3 million. Please, let's not do that. I don't do that with people. I love when someone can show me something. When white folks are willing to say that black people are 20% or 50, they always lie by 10%. So if they say it's 18%, right? Then that means they probably left out 10% of that number or more, which means you round that up and it gets to 20. Okay, let's not do that. Thank you. Let's do our research. Let's know that. I've been looking at demographics for black people all over the country since I was 9 years old. I'll be 56 in February. That means I've been doing this for longer than some people have been born, just looking at how many black people are in America. Now, I need to get this and then we can start rolling it, brother. First and foremost, I want to ask everybody, if you live in the DC area, if you don't live in the DC area, if you live in the DC area, I need your help to warn people that they do not have to get messed up. You can get an email me, wrandyshoot@gmail.com. I'll send you one of those waiver forms. You need them. 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 You do not have to take it. Nurse Tina in Tennessee is dead. There, at least 3% of the people that get treated they have problems. There are issues with the medication that they're issuing. Hydroxychloroquine works. Black seed oil and honey works. There are other things that you can do versus do that. Do not let anybody do anything to you that you don't want done. Now, in DC, if you live here, everybody needs to know that it is the law of the city that they can inject your children without your knowledge or consent. God have mercy. If this causes problems where people have to go to ICUs and stuff like this, for adults, what will it do to children? What you need to know is that Bill Gates' wife said that if the treatments sterilize children, that's the price that needs to be paid to protect them from viruses. She said it with a smile. I want to also say to you that you need to do everything you can to protect your health. Do everything you can to be informed. Read, research, don't trust me, and don't go by your own opinion of what you see. Look it up, investigate. I have real suspicions about all these politicians that they say are doing this or that. They lie about everything else. Why would I believe? They probably give themselves a shot of heroin instead of the medicine itself. Don't go for that. The other thing I want to say to you, we have a new expression. We've got to get people to start using it. I'm thinking it's a way to help educate folks. And my expression is vacuum. And instead of the middle finger, you do that. And we have to get people to understand that they don't need to get vaxxed or vocked. Don't vock me and stop vocking people, and don't get vaxxed. So if you don't want to get vaxxed, think. Absolutely. So when this brother comes back in a second, we're going to have him speak. I challenge everybody, as hard as it is in particular, please don't think emotion and feelings don't really matter. And by the way, I want to say for all the folks who have regional disparities, Tina's dead. That Black Queen genius, part of the genius is understanding propaganda. Maybe you didn't work in television news for 4 years like I did. Billions of dollars. The largest purchasers of advertising on television and radio are pharmaceutical corporations. Do you really think if they stand to make billions and billions and trillions of dollars that they're going to talk about a fatality? Forgive me, that's just stupid. It's absolutely stupid, sister. It's a stupid thought. Why would they lose their money over one person? Why would they allow their hustle to get the government and the states to pay for it, to tell people that someone has suffered a fatality? But do your own research. If they didn't put up the sister, Nurse Tiffany, there's studies from all over the world. So instead of nagging me and making a nuisance of yourself in my chat, take the same time that you are questioning me to go into Google and look up this vaccine. Look up the news from the British government telling people not to do it if they had allergies and other things. We have a high rate of asthma among Black children. Asthma is the leading cause of death for Black children under the age of 12. What will the shot do? Okay, so the Black Miami population is 1,300,000. This is the Metro Miami. Wow. Okay. All right. Remember, I said there are millions of Black people in Florida. It's not my imagination. I've been looking. In fact, I've been paying attention to Florida's population consistently for the last 11 years. But, and it's not just something that crossed my mind to say this. I got a PhD because I can read, I can research, I can retain, I can analyze, I can do qualitative and quantitative analysis. A lot of PhDs don't. A lot of them just have some paper. Okay, anyway, the information is not going to freely circulate. There is a President Obama created a policy when he was in office. Yes, he did. And what he did was, I forget the name of it, but it is a policy that allows the U.S. media to lie to the public. You know what I'm talking about, Kulik? Do you remember the name of this policy that Obama passed? I forget the name of it. Brent, it's something. Brent. Hold on, let me look it up. I'll pull it up. It's a U.S. policy that the media can lie and propagandize and do CIA misinformation to the public. The U.S., this was passed under Obama, who many of you voted for. So many of you voted for. When I do lead a prayer service, I'm going to ask for Black people to repent for, yes, it is OFAGA, but a lot of people want to hear the name that they respect. Let me look it up. Hold on. Propaganda, U.S. media.
4310.
I've got to get the name. Hold on. U.S. media can law. Hold on. Allowing. I'm gonna pull it up and see. Someone else should look it up. All these people in the chat room doing stuff, allowing propaganda.
I can screen share it on your thing if because I have it up here.
You have it?
Yeah, I have it up here.
Put it up there.
Okay, let me see. Let's see. I need to allow it to do that.
Yeah, it's called the Smith-Mundt Act.
Right.
President Obama. I'm sorry. And this is why I don't like a lot of people. We have way more. You have to sit down and try to remember what it is that you know. Some people talk so much because they don't know anything. Smith-Mundt Act.
Is it up there?
Smith-Mundt Act of 2012. It's the
Yeah.
modernization.
Yeah, it's up here. I don't know how to put it on your thing, but it's up there.
Yeah, I mean, just look it up. Smith-Mundt Act. So it's hold on, let me see. I add to the stream. Uh-oh, let me come take myself out.
Yeah, there it is.
Obama did this to us. So the media has a job. The same people who are making this medication that isn't safe are in the CIA and in the Mossad. We're being targeted for being harmed. And unfortunately, we're going to have a lot of, again, pork chop feminists, ignorant black women sitting up fighting against black men, trying to help our people who are going to have a whole lot of opinion and stuff that has nothing to do with reality to try to debunk it. And I don't care. I'm being disrespectful because I don't like to be questioned when I know what I'm talking about. I'm the teacher here. If you're a student, sometimes questions aren't intelligent. That woman died. We know she died. We had people that checked. They won't put it on the news. Well, forgive me, Black Queen. Why don't you email me offline? You have my email. It seems as if there are too many questions I have to talk to, and we have a show to do with this brother. I'm trying to respond to you, but someone just put up here that there are 1.3 million Blacks in the metropolitan Miami area. You said there were none. We're owed an apology in my book. I think 1.3 million is a large number. I knew there's definitely 200,000 because we were over 200,000 30 some odd years ago, almost 40 years ago when they had the Overtown riots, they had hundreds of thousands of people. That's not my opinion. That's the US Census. And the US Census has admitted that they undercount Black people. I suspect that there are more Black people down there than what we acknowledge. And this is the other reason that they have to cheat in the elections. Okay, this is why. Now, brother, we're not going to spend any more time there. Chat room, I'm turning the floor over to my brother, Brother Kulik, who is a talented man who knows what he's talking about, has had experience. And I just want to say this, there's a very good book called Rituals of Blood by Dr. Orlando Patterson. Fact checking is different from interrogating. I told you what the fact was. I read the fact. How are you going to check it after I read it to you? I tell you where to look for it. It's census, U.S. Census data. You can do quick fact check. A lot of us have an issue about one, we're not all the same. We're not all equal. I can't make a pie crust as good as my mother. She's been doing it for years. I'm just learning. I can question her a trillion times. She can probably tell me just because I don't understand doesn't mean she didn't answer my question. If I answer her a second or I ask her 2 or 3 times, she's going to get pissed. You asked me, I told you. And this is sort of a respect thing. I watch Black people and they listen to white people in the news. They listen to white people. The strife it's a respect issue. I knew what I was talking about before I said it. When I gave an answer, I got back at you repeatedly when I kept saying, hey, look, this isn't my opinion. Someone saying how I feel about it. You're not being insulted. You're being corrected. They're two different things. I told you what the fact was. You did insult me in the sense that I wouldn't try to lie to you. I'm not here to lie to anybody. I'm here to try to inform people. So when I say, hey, look, there's a significant number of Black people in a specific place, and someone says, no, they're not, I do it, then someone comes back, well, what is that? Then I get a source and you say, the source is wrong. Well, the source doesn't know, but your source is simply how you feel about it. That's not how we do stuff here. It doesn't matter for me how I feel. I'm prepared. I learned that there were black people in Iraq. Okay. Well, sister, we love everybody. Let's knock it off in the chat room. We love everybody. I love my sister from Miami. We all have to move forward, though. But my friends, opinions and facts are two different things. That's a big problem we have as a community. Opinions and facts. We all can have opinions. They're like an asshole or your mouth. We all have it, but they're not facts. Facts are black folks, according to the U.S. government, for, say, the state of Florida. It's 16%. I think that's too low. Well, if there are almost, 25, 30 million people there, well, 10% of 30 would be 3, 15% would be 4.5, right? We're talking about a large number of people. And the largest population center in the state. Okay. Sister, I'm going to block you because I'm not insulting you. I'm talking facts. You're being childish. Okay. Now we solved that. Now, I hate to have to do that with people, but, I didn't even insult anybody. So anybody, I won't go back and forth with people. I think it's stupid. I don't mind getting corrected. I don't mind learning. I learned from this brother. I learned from anyone. But if you think someone's insulted, in fact, this is a big problem with a lot of black women. They don't like for black men to speak with authority. They don't like for black men to know what they're talking about. They don't like for black men to be correct. And when they get busted, they get angry and they start tripping. It's childish, which is why you can't form a family unit with the person with that mindset. And this problem is as bad in the South as in the West, as in the North, as everywhere. The sister's completely unfactual. Black folks have a problem nationwide. Fact. There are some places in the South where people are traditional, but there are also places in the North and everywhere else where people have a stable family unit. But if, with Miami having the highest rate of STDs in the country and all these other issues that we can talk about, clearly, if the armpit of STD infection is a place where I'm going to find traditional people, I have a question. If someone's offended, there are problems. There's divorce in the South. There's child abuse in the South. There's pedophilia in the South. People don't talk about it. The Bible Belt has some of the worst problems of venereal disease. You name it. There's some of the craziest stuff happened in small towns. I've lived in them. I was in small towns, spent a significant part of this year in small town. Folks, and someone just got murdered in a town of 7,000 people, 2 brothers fighting over a woman. It's a lie that the South is this wonderful romantic place for black people. I would love for it to be. It is not. It is not. And the most dysfunctional elements of my family, who had the most stuff with rape, molestation, child abuse, the folks who came from incest from the South. The people who came from the deep South, they're some tough people, but they had some major problems. Real talk. Real talk. So if that's a problem for anyone, you don't like that, you think I insulted you because I corrected you, you don't learn. In fact, a lot of sisters, I'm going to tell you, they're not coachable. I didn't go to my opinion. You see this cool look? I didn't say what I think. It's okay. They challenged me. Let's go to a source. My source is U.S. Census data. Their thing is, well, to repudiate the census data, but what's their source from what they've seen? Okay, I didn't tell you I've seen it, although I've been to Miami. I'm not going to trust me. I'm going to try to get the best answer instead of what I'd like to be so. A whole lot of our people don't like that. So we just witnessed one of the challenges. And I know folks who think Obama's a great president. White people didn't give him a chance. When we start having this, everything will be whatever a foundational Black American man says gets challenged. And if you start to defend your position, they get angry and they lose it. Then all of a sudden they're insulted, you're unprofessional. Did I call the person any names? Did I call people out of their name? Did you hear me do that? Did
Nope,
you?
not at all.
Okay, not one time. I didn't need to. I know I'm correct. I know that there are as many as 5 million Black people in the state of Florida, depending on what you define as Black. Population center for Florida is Miami. That you have to have some Black people there. You just have to, right? Yes, I agree. So it was handled. Anytime you have to call yourself a genius, there's a challenge. Anyway, come on, brother, bring it. I'm going to give you the floor. I want you to launch in a salvo on pork chop feminists. We just had it. I wasn't looking for a pork chop feminist fight. I wasn't trying to have one. And your microphone is off. Turn your sound up so I can hear you.
Check, check. You hear me? Check 1, 2.
Okay, I can hear you. I
Cool, cool.
didn't do it. It wasn't me. I didn't try to have a fight. Oh, here, look at this person, this little fake person. There you go. I'm hateful, so you're gone. I hate you, so I blocked you. All right.
Yeah, it's a
So
lot of. Yeah, we were going to say Doctor Short.
no. It was one of those people just with stupid unk names. If you have one of those stupid things, you're gone. I'll see you later. Y'all can take all of that voodoo and hoodoo and that pork chop feminist garbage somewhere else. And thank God for the DMV. For people in Baltimore and DC have done a hell of a lot for Black folks in terms of standing up for Black people. And that's just a fact. I'm not scared of them. I don't sit up living in fear of them. Okay. I didn't call anybody. Someone put up Bedwinch. I'm not saying that. I didn't call anybody that. So if people do that, y'all could be mean in the chat room. I'm not encouraging that. I'm simply dealing with a mindset. I know what it's like, forgive me, to be a classroom teacher in the South and dealt with the kind of opinionated person that thought because they had a pie hole and another pie hole that everything they said should be given equal merit. One pie hole may be good, the other one should be kept shut. In fact, both pie holes should be shut more often than open. Now, brother, bring it. Come on, man. I'm gonna come out.
All right. How you go doing there again, Doctor Short? Thank you for having me on your program here. And just like the chat room is saying, we have a lot of these agent provocateurs that are trying to distract and get you off your square. And we got to realize that our message is going to stay strong. We're going to get where we need to be, but the masculine principle must be respected and restored, and balance must be restored. This doesn't mean that we're hating women or we're disrespecting women, but I'm a 90s baby. I'm on millennials. Ever since the 90s, I've been hearing this rhetoric about men ain't this, they're dogs, they're gay, they're in jail, especially Black men. They say we're the worst, we're at the bottom totem pole. And then when we look at what Black women of today are doing, we see where all the mess and hypocrisy and ignorance is. So, we're exposing this shit. And, we have to keep doing this so our race can prosper. Because if we keep going the way we're going, it's going to be ended. And what I mean by end, I'm talking about our race. That's why I say today's Black women of today single-handedly will kill this Black race through abortion, through not cooperating with the male principle, them doing the European feminism thing, them being nasty, evil, demonic, Jezebel, them doing this Cardi B, Megan the Stallion mess, and them just being assholes and not truthful, not having any type of accountability. So if they keep doing that, that's going to be the end of us. But us men, like Dr. Randy Short, me, and other people, if we're coming in here talking about this kind of stuff, we're doing it because we care, not because we're trying to beat up people or beat up Black women. We're trying to rid all this European feminism shit and put things back in balance. And there's nothing wrong with that, putting things back in balance. Nothing wrong with that at all. And yeah, uh, Dr. Short, you want to talk about the interview we did the other day?
Yes, sir. We should.
Okay, because maybe some folks in here from her, what you call it, from her media or whatever. And in my
Okay.
opinion, this is my opinion. I think she's another secret operative feminist. And what I'm saying is, you have these people or women in particular that go to these male platforms and they cause a ruckus. Like you had somebody on here, I don't know her name, but y'all were talking about the Miami thing. We all know there's a lot of black folks in Miami. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Um, but I think her job, one of her jobs, is to basically go on these male platforms, create these lies, create this distraction, do a lot of double talk like Obama does and Biden does, do all this double talk and double speech. And oh, I agree with you. I agree. Then all of a sudden I say, but you know what I'm saying? And then I talk about, Jamaican people, or I talk about South American people. I call them dirty feet, but also I get impregnated by a dirty foot. All this hypocrisy.
Who
Women like
got
her.
impregnated by a dirty foot? Hold on, let me come
So,
off here. You talk about this.
so yeah, we have, if you look at the video, it was Brother Ron on We All Be TV, was myself, and it was Dr. Short. And if you look at that video on there with us on there, now I did a second part too. And if I known she was gonna be in there again, I wouldn't have been on there. Because number one, the second part, I don't know if you've seen that, Dr. Short, but the lady Lauren was supposed to be in there. Lauren is a smart black female. She's got sense. She knows about us being indigenous and aboriginal. She's not a loudmouth. She's not a thug. She's not a ghetto mammy bammy ignoramus. You know what I'm saying? But she was talking all this mess about if you will, Caribbean people or South American black women or whoever, and calling them dirty feet and dirty foot. But then she said on this program, not this program, but on the program with We All Be TV, she got some children, not children, children by a dirty foot. So I mean, all this hypocrisy people do, or what they do is just I don't want to be a part of it and around it, because enough is enough. I'm here for healing. I'm here for um basically we need to know what the cause and effect is, right? And if I'm here to have these hard conversations. I'm not worried about the pussy points and getting pussy and all that. Pussy comes, pussy goes. The thing I'm having trouble with in my group is getting a female that's on my level in terms of education, consciousness, loyalty, tradition, her being a feminine woman, not her being hardcore yelling and angry with that masculine voice. Just a real black female like Ida B. Wells, Rosa Parks, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Coretta Scott King. And I said this too on the podcast. A Martin Luther King or Malcolm X would not be able to exist with this type of female we're dealing with now. He couldn't exist. He would not have a strong counterpart to help him out, or even just be even to be in existence like now. So y'all need to realize, if we don't get this act together, we will go extinct. And if you look at the abortion rate, a lot of these black women are doing, you look at who they're marrying to, because they ain't marrying us. A lot of them ain't marrying us. They're marrying white men, they're marrying Arab men, Asian men, Latino, right? And they own the media saying we ain't shit, and we ain't this, we're gay, we in jail all the time. And how I'm talking like this, they don't want to hear it. A lot of them don't want to hear it. They think this is abrasive. They think this is hating. They think this is all kinds of things. The way I'm talking, I'm not yelling, I'm screaming, I'm smiling at y'all, but I'm speaking the truth here. Because if we don't get this in order, the black race, or I would say the indigenous American or the Aboriginal American people of the Americas, will be extinct, because our women want to be selfish, ignorant, and deaf, dumb, and blind. Y'all got to get together. Now, we do know there's a lot of Negroes that are, um, bitch made, that are gay, that are LBGTQT, whatever. They add letters to it, numbers to it every 5 seconds. So I don't know what it is now. We know there's a lot of, Negroes that are killing each other. That ain't worth the shit. We know that. But I've been hearing that for years, and since the 90s. Now
And
we
you
need to
acknowledge it. You admit it. I don't
yeah,
defend it.
yeah,
Whenever someone tells me something true that's a criticism of black men, I
yeah,
say, you're right. I don't say but. And just, no, I say, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the incest. I'm tired of the rape, the abuse, the triflingness. All I agree.
right.
But when I say, all right, now let's address your issue, uh, Miss Adas. And then all of a sudden, you can't critique me. And it reminds me of in school, we used to play dodgeball. And when I was in school, They didn't want boys to hit the girls with the balls and dodgeball because they were girls, but the girls could hit the boys.
Right.
And by the way, the person that got hit the least got the best grade. So if the boys couldn't throw at the girls, right, then the girl always got the prize because she wasn't subjected to the same amount of competition. We've had this kind of jacked up system. I've seen it everywhere, especially in physical education. The girls didn't have to do push ups like boys did. A boy that could do, say, 22 push ups, real push ups, got a B. A girl that could do 12 push ups with most of her body laying flat on the ground got an A. And I'm thinking, huh. In the Army, women have to do the same push ups as men.
Right.
So we have a system that does not demand. A lot of these women have been demanding equality in areas where they've typically and historically and don't want to really be. A lot of women don't want to be coal miners. A lot of women don't want to be trash men. A lot of the stuff that men do, women don't want. But when they get there, they've often wanted things to change to suit them as women when men either had to shape up or ship out. And I'm not saying a woman can't be a coal miner. I'm not saying a woman can't be an iron worker. I'm not saying a woman can't work on a factory line. But I also know when the women have gotten certain factory jobs, like working the high tech industry, like making the chips and all, because they're women, breathing the chemicals cause them to lose babies and to get sick. That would not happen to a man. We're different. We're not identical, and we shouldn't be. Uh, a lot of Black women get it, but too many don't. A lot of Black women are beefing about the situation that they see, but I always ask them, who raised the man that you're with?
Right.
No, whenever that thing, and white women do it too, in America, American women, not just Black, are spoiled relative to women in other places. When Susan Smith back in the 90s decided to want to get with another man and murder her 2 children, she knew she could blame a Black man. She
Right.
knew it.
Right.
They know this. This is something. There is a female privilege in America that women lie between their teeth on. And I'm not saying give up the privilege, but acknowledge that it exists. Acknowledge that if you grin at a policeman when you're speeding, you may not get a ticket, and a brother might get shot. I'm not
Yeah.
saying either one should speed, but you you got a warning ticket and you use sex to your advantage. I ain't even mad. Okay. But the man gets shot in the head complying. Don't say that you suffer as much as he does. That's not true. You suffer in some ways that a man won't suffer, and a man suffers in ways that you won't. It's called adversity. But dumbass people on the left, dumbass feminists, think adversity is discrimination. If you have a period and you're in a gym class and it gets on your leg and everybody sees blood, that's adversity. It also means that you need a different sort of Kotex or something. I don't know. But that's not discrimination. I think it's discrimination. Well, young girls have menstrual cycles; they shouldn't have gym class. I think that's the discrimination to not have them be physically, healthy or able to do that. No, we have a real problem. We don't know what discrimination or abuse or what's unfair. I remember the first time going to Africa and seeing women catch hell. It shocked the hell out of me to see a woman carrying like 100 pounds of wood on her head and the man ain't doing nothing. I I I was like, isn't he gonna help her? Then they said no. So okay. You'll never see a Black woman carrying a whole bunch of stuff. Not typically. If they have a man, he won't do anything unless she picked an asshole man. If you're an asshole magnet of a woman, that's your choice. If a woman wants to find a decent man, and she isn't easy. And let's just be honest. I mean, I live not too far from my high school. I remember hearing stories of girls being upset. They went on a date with a guy and he didn't reach up their dress within the first 5 minutes of being in the car. That was proof he was gay. So when the guys heard that, the women had a stopwatch on how fast were they moving, dudes just assumed just reach up their dress the minute you get in the car, so you'll be okay.
Take charge.
When they wonder why certain men are aggressive, a lot of guys thought this is what was demanded and expected of them, often as not. But it will only be attributed to the man being accountable and not the woman wanting that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll just say to you that I don't know who this person is, so I'm ignoring the chat room. Let me
Yeah, I
just
don't
say this
understand
to
that
you.
what
Yeah, I
they're
don't
talking about.
either. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Do we need to give that person a vacation? Because I don't know. If I don't understand, does it sound like it sounds like a pork chop? Okay,
Yeah, it
let's,
sounds like them people coming over here.
okay, pork chop feminists get blocked. We listen to you all the time. Now you have to listen to us. We will
Yeah,
be speaking.
yeah.
Um, and so the message that I'm making, there. By the way, nobody's on here promoting any other group of women. Are you? Nope, I'm not. But I am saying that we have a problem. It must be resolved.
Right.
Evidence is when you have these lesbian mayors like this one, Bow Wow here in DC, and Larry Dykefoot in Chicago,
Right.
that and Keisha, who needs a lance in her bottom, in Atlanta, that these very dysfunctional women are a threat. Now, back to the show. I want to say this to you because I thought it was quite interesting. Um, there was a denial that Black women interracially marry and that it's a large number. In fact, it's much higher for Black women than Black men. But the
Exactly.
people that do the bitching and complaining have been Black women. Even for gay marriage, there are far more women getting married, Black women marrying women, than Black men are marrying Black men. But of course, this doesn't come up. I'm not saying you have a plethora of gay Black men out of control, but this is real. And it's amazing. You will never see Oprah Winfrey do a negative show on gay women. You'll never see it, not one Black woman that, but you know, there'll be a show on the Black man that gave VD to his woman being with the man. You will
Right.
get that addressed, and it should be. But why not on the other side? What about the women that brought AIDS home and killed their men? I had one of my high school friends, his wife gave him AIDS from sleeping with men that killed him.
Wow.
And these stories, they don't happen. It's not so. It's only Black men, and it's one-sidedness of, and because this Black men ain't shit facilitates confusion. That all it's always the Black men's fault, and as a result of that, I think that women get shell shocked by all this negativity that they buy into.
Right.
And I've heard all these things like the Black woman is going to save Black men, the Black women are the saviors, it's women's turn. By the way, you don't hear white women saying it's women's turn in the white community, nor do you hear
Right.
Latinas or Asian Pacific. They don't. There's only one
Right.
community where this mess is going on. And where the
Agree.
women are in the lead, and you are, things are pretty fucked up. It just is. There's just no way around it. And we will make it if we work together. But I'll say this, it may already be, in some instances, too late. Okay. And I will tell anyone, it was so cool, again, being in Brazil. I'm not even trying to run after anybody. I don't bother. I don't run after women like that. That's not how it is. If I actually have a good vibration from a lady, I may talk to them and normally try to find out who am I talking to. Um, and here, I've learned, I had a situation that I'll just tell you. I was asked to review a film that was being put together. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Uh, and after the film was reviewed, we went to a place, a nice bar, whatever. And there was a
Right.
lady that was friendly to me all day. Turns out she thought she's white. Turns out she was always cast out of her family. Turns out that she's 18% black and she'd never fit in. And she was so friendly, attractive lady. But I was thinking, why's this white broad on me? I'm like, right?
Right.
I met her friends and I just talked to one of her friends, a black lady. She's presentable, but I could say she's slightly overweight. And I just asked her questions about education. And she talked to me for maybe an hour about her school and being from Oakland and this, that, and the other. I didn't talk about myself other than, just ask. Okay, now let me tell you something. My friend came and says, this guy, he says to me, he has a PhD and he went to Harvard. And the lady says, you don't lead with that. I never mentioned it. And she got angry. I never mentioned, now this bitch only had a master's degree. Yes, I'm going to call her a bitch.
Right.
I listened to her talk about her thing. And I never said, you don't lead with your education. I was just interested in talking to another person. I'm not interested in her at all, just talking. And she was hostile to my friend bringing it up. I never brought up where I went to school. I was just talking. And then she got mad that I was talking to the woman who found out her family was passing. I wasn't trying to screw anybody. It's just talking to people I thought were interested in ideas and information. And I can say to you, as a person that was a professional student, that happened many, many times that there was a hostility against you
Right.
for being a thinking black man. You're not even bothering nobody. You're just talking. I didn't say I want your phone number, where you live, what you do, where your boyfriend at. Just talking.
Right.
And it was treated in such a hostile way. Don't lead with that. And you know what I got from that? I bet you that broad's gay.
Right.
Now, I don't care. But she was mad that she was actually blaming me for the white lady being around. I'm not grabbing that lady's trying to talk to me because she enjoyed talking to me.
Right.
Okay. But I don't like you. You can't be about anything. You can't impress me. I mean, it's just God. And you know what? I would tell anybody if I had that guy, someone to choose between the woman who's 20% black over this black woman, I'd say take the 20% black one. Better attitude, more cooperative, friendly. I mean, there'd be some issues, but what I didn't see anyway, a lot of these ladies are just damn impossible.
Yeah.
It's not all, and a lot of them have picked. And part of what people need to understand, when you have a matrifocal culture, matrifocal means when women are the center of a culture. Okay. When women are matrifocal and men aren't really that important, if you think black people's relationships are screwed up, Puerto Ricans who also are matrifocal people, their thing is completely messed up. Wherever you have Puerto Ricans, I'm sorry, you'll find Puerto Ricans are well represented in delinquency and crime. That's
Right.
Hawaii, that's Texas, that's New York, that's Florida, that's Connecticut. It's all over. And I'm not saying that's Harrisburg. I'm not saying Puerto Ricans as a group are criminal, but the delinquent criminal impulse exists highly, and sociologists have talked about this because the men, when they have been marginalized, like the Puerto Rican men have been, They get into what's called hypomasculinity. This
Right.
is like fighting, drinking, drugging, being tough, beating women. And a lot of the stuff that Black women don't like about Black men is the outgrowth of men being basically quasi or pseudo male. They
Right.
have this macho. So I got big muscles. I can fight. I drink. I use drugs. But I can't be a husband. I can't be a provider. I can't look after children. I can't do those things. Because I don't perceive I can, or I lack the opportunity to do it, then I don't. And I make manhood something else. Running bitches, beating bitches, screwing bitches, being DL on bitches. All of this is to accommodate the fact that he's got a little Vienna sausage type penis manhood. Maybe it's cut in half. And he does all this other stupid stuff to try to be something. It's an alternative striving adaptation, is the language used in the social sciences.
Right.
And a lot of Black men, will tell you, man, I roll blunts, and they do all these dumb, non-productive, ignorant things to try to have some system of manhood. I always tell people, maybe my brother, maybe about, 17 years ago, my father took me to a family reunion, and I met some of my cousins. All of them, the families from the deep South. It's like keep talking about the South, the South, the South. Okay, fine.
Right.
My family from Georgia. Okay, from Eastman, Georgia, Dodge County, Georgia, way down. I mean, it's I mean, the biggest thing there is the McDonald's. That should tell you something about it, right? Anyway.
Right.
And my cousins initially were interested in talking to me, and they asked, did I smoke? No. Cigarettes? No. Did you smoke weed? Did I smoke cigarettes? Did I shoot drugs? Did I have kids out of wedlock? Had I gone to jail? And when just when I didn't have any of these negative things, they cut off the conversation and walked off and stopped talking to me.
Right.
I had no value to them. I was like a space alien
Right.
because I didn't have kids out of wedlock. I hadn't gone to jail, didn't use drugs, was not this what they they completely rejected me. Like, I've never heard from them since.
Right.
Okay. And that's the only way that I could have fit in with them. I would have had to have been into some a drink. I left out drinking. I would have had to be into some super self-destructive, parasuicidal behavior in order to be okay with them.
Right.
Now, here's the issue. Alongside this parasuicidal behavior, the guys with the Vienna sausage, penis-sized manhood, are women who like that kind of a man, and that's the kind of man that they want.
Right.
And they will not accept any other kind. Which means that you see that woman and she's got babies with as many different names as you'd find in a phone book. Of course, she's not a hoe. I don't
Right.
agree. 2 children by 2 different men, not married, is a hoe. Okay.
Yeah.
If you've done that, you're a hoe. Now you can recover, but the first time, second time, third time, you're a hoe. You're a hoe
Right.
all the way.
Right.
Okay. Okay. You may like toys if you have 1 or 2. You got 10. You're a toy collector. If you collect fuck toys, you're a hoe. You're a hoe that has babies. Thank God you didn't kill the babies, but okay, and it's time, and you don't know you smoking weed and phencyclidine or love boat or ecstasy, whatever you want to call it, and like 10, 12 dudes who are pretty nasty for them to, they're all leaving deposit sperm and the same vagina, same party, and the kid looks like 5 different people. Okay. And when you go, even Maury Povich can't help your ass figure out who the father is. Okay. And you say men are dogs. All right. Let's say that they are dogs, but you're a hoe too. And not a very good one. Now that Kamala Harris has almost become the most powerful woman in the world if they pull off this election fraud. She's a great hoe. She's gone from just being a hoe to marrying a rich person to being a powerful person. Now that is a successful hoe. Now everyone can't do that. It's only for the brave, okay?
Right.
So I wasn't a goody two shoes. In fact, I think that that's kind of stupid. In fact, I don't like that term. In fact, in the age of AIDS, we need to be goody two shoes. In the age of shingles and chlamydia and all the diseases, ebony eyes, we need to be goody two shoes because you have this stuff like a tattoo for life. You mess with the wrong person, you get hepatitis C or D. Right about now, we need goody two shoes. Thank God for families that didn't let us be hoes and queens and drag queens. And people who think that is square are deviant. Where'd the term square come from? The term square comes from the white queer beatniks in the 50s that used drugs, that had sex with children, that sold their bodies like Kerouac. That's absolutely fact. So the term square comes from drug using white liberal deviants.
Hmm.
So you use the language of a white pervert to address how you think someone is. Think about something before you use it. If you don't know where the word came from, you're probably going to use it in the wrong way. Squareness comes from people that wanted to kill babies, came from people that perceived Black people as inferior. The very same people that use the term square that later branch off into the Medicine Society, which is the foundation of the LGBTQ and pedophilia legalization movement. So if they consider me square, it's an honor. My question would be, if you're not square, what kind of deviant are you? You don't have to answer that. Just understand when people talk about, like, I've heard about girls and the guy bought her a ring and says, I want to marry you, and just says that's corny.
Right.
Then what isn't corny? Getting hit in the booty and smoking weed and y'all raising each other's kids and nobody knows that's yeah. So there's a lot of resistance, and we understand. In fact, I like the Bible. It says there's none righteous, no, not one. That's what comes up. Um, Black people, in terms of adoption, again, that's white feminism and white liberals, supposedly
Right.
our friends, who are heavily trusted by the women in our community in particular.
Right.
Black men don't trust as much. So again, when you say the we, who let white people in our communities? Who allowed the social workers to say, hey, look, take the money, throw out the man? Do you know that white women get their welfare with their white man? Hispanic women get their welfare with their Hispanic man.
Right.
Jewish women get their welfare with their Jewish man. It's non negotiable. I take the check and I keep the man. There's one group of people that didn't fight to say we keep our men and we get the help. That's where we need to be.
And Dr. Short, you know what's crazy too, to furthermore talk about that podcast we did. I can't
Go.
stand I can't stand when some women or a lot of women in my age group, but just in general say, my body, my choice, whether it be about abortion, whether it be about their past life, how they treated their body. For example, she had brought up two talking points. She talked about if she started dating a male and he asked about her past, have you had any abortions? How many men have you been with? Are you a lesbian? Have you tried the lesbian culture, whatever? She's like, that doesn't matter. I don't need to talk about that. And it doesn't make
Oh,
any sense.
really?
Right, she said that. And
Well,
if I go to the grocery store, I want a new sandwich. I don't want a sandwich that somebody else ate off.
You mean a
You know?
sandwich that somebody took some dookie out their ass and put between the bread?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So this is the crazy mess that some of
It's
these
not a
women are.
crazy mess. This is why a sister, I don't know, one lady that reached out, I wasn't certain, that says, I don't think that I can be. I'm going to ask these questions. They have a right to know. Isn't it interesting that a woman asks you if you're gay, but you can't ask her if she's had lesbian experiences?
Right.
She can ask
Right.
your weight, but you can't ask hers.
Right.
She can ask your age, you can't. What's all this fucking secrecy for, ladies?
Right.
Transparency.
Right.
What you know? Do you have on a weave? Do you have an implant? I mean, we should be able to talk to each other straight. If you'd like to be a moderator, you have my email. Let's talk about it. I'm open to that. Although I do have someone moderating, I can take another. Um, I don't mind people asking questions. Peace to you, Mimi. I don't mind that. My thing is, again, we have to reprise this. I don't mind someone having a different point of view, but I have an issue when people have the wrong information and then want to put it out here on my platform.
Right.
This is why I'll keep using the example, the Florida thing. I didn't, that you and I talked, we didn't have any plans to talk about Florida. I'm not trying to think about no Florida.
Right.
Okay, but if we're going to have this conversation, hey, y'all, MFM to all of y'all. In fact, let's take a quick break. Y'all, everybody, this is, you know who I am. You either love me or hate me or want to kill me or both, depending on which issue I'm talking about. I'm just hearing out Brother Kulik, who you're from the DMV, aren't you?
No, Texas original. I live in the DMV currently.
You live in the DMV, okay.
Yes.
And it's really hard to meet people. By the way, DC leads the nation for people being the last to get married. And that's because the economy is so good here for, in particular, Black women. They don't need a man. They don't economically. Okay. So the women, I mean, not looking at you. If you're not making six, seven figures, you don't exist. And yet the guys who are making the huge money have 20 girlfriends.
Right.
And seems like they talk to a guy making 80 who's reliable versus sharing a guy who makes 800,000 who dates 15 to 20 women.
Right.
Now, so that's Brother Kulik. And we're talking, we did a show with Ron Hurd. He did two. I did one with Sister Dana with the data. And I haven't said much other than it was interesting doing the show. I didn't ask to be on the show. Yes, Dominique, you said her daughter's married to an Arab, but she had her son to marry a Black American woman.
Right.
Well, my thing is, she took a lot of the stuff personally. If her son married an Egyptian, if he married a cousin of her daughter's husband, would she care? See, there's an issue here that Black women aren't being honest about, that we talk about. The slave system put Mammy, the Black woman, over the Black man as a ruler.
Right.
It's an unnatural relationship. It doesn't work. It's not working. It will never work. A lot of Black men have been good sports with what men in other communities. I'm going to just tell you, beat, kill, and the way that they treat women in other cultures, it is shocking. Right. I have so many friends and family who've either been married in a relationship with a woman that cheated on them, and they didn't really do anything to the woman. If I told you in Brazil, if you catch a woman with another man and you kill her, the courts won't necessarily convict you. I don't think that that's right. But I do know if a man catches a woman with the man in his bed in their house, and he happens to hit that woman if she gets loud with him, because I know this happened to two friends of mine, that man will go to jail if he hits that woman, even if he just slaps her carefully. This happened to a friend of mine that got a criminal record for slapping his wife, who started berating him in front of the man she's sleeping with in their bed. She was
Wow.
so outrageous. He popped her, and he that's it, just one slap, and the police he got a criminal record. Um, I don't, I don't, I'm not trying to say violence. I'm trying to say, ladies, in the scheme of things, when you say that you have it so horribly here,
Right.
you being able to put a guy in jail if he slapped you when you jump bad with him when you're married and you're in adultery versus getting killed and the dude being seen as a hero, y'all got it better than good. Y'all
Oh yeah.
complain too much. There's a distorted reality for you. You don't realize how this white supremacist system has really given you the upper hand,
Right.
and y'all are unhappy with it. Let me just say to you, you ever think a white woman's going to be a president of the United States?
I hope not.
I doubt it seriously, because white women won't support it and white men won't. A black, or at least the non-white woman, will get in before a white woman. Why? Black men will vote for a black woman faster than a white man will vote for a white woman. But black women don't even think about that. They completely dismiss it. Look at your Congress, black women, and look at how many black women are in office, meaning that black men vote for black women, and very significant numbers, greater than any other group of men supporting women in positions of leadership. We don't get a fucking word of thanks or recognition that black men recognize the ability of black women to be administrators, to hold positions of power. It's complete. It just, the good things that we could say about black men never register.
Right.
It never really comes up because there's such a propaganda of how bad black men are, and that black women don't do any comparisons at all. When black women get killed in interracial marriages or relationships, like the Asian man that killed the black woman down in the Dominican Republic a few weeks ago, it's not news.
Right.
When white men kill black women, they're not going to do anything about it. It's not. It's not. They'll only talk about it if it's a black man that does something to build up. Black men ain't shit. Your men ain't nothing. You'd be better off without them.
But
When
my question.
when white women kill white children or white men, it's really not discussed that much to protect the image of white women. When black women kill black men, it's not really discussed. But if a black man kills a black woman or a white woman, you will hear about it. You absolutely will, because there's a larger scheme to say that black men as a collective are bad. And black women, okay, with all due respect, the image of the black woman in much of the Western world, whether you like it or not, is that of a whore. But who, even before rap came along, who came up with the idea of black women being whores? You can't say black men. It's white society. Now, and I'm looking at Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Moonlight, Monster Ball. All of these things are primarily created by whites. If they denigrate black women, then if people were looking at it fairly, they would be angry with white society as much as black men. In fact, more so white society than black men. But it's easier to be angry with black men. It's a cop out to be angry with black men than to be angry with white, because it's a cowardice. And even the black women's movement, it really only exists because white women won't take them, not because they want to stand alone. It's real talk. and it's It's unpleasant talk, but someone has to do it. And because I'm just genetically, politically incorrect, and because I want to vac pork chop feminism. In fact, if all of the uh, coons and others got vaxxed, I'd be happy. I mean, a bunch of them. In fact, I want to say to y'all that this challenge that we have with the pandemic is going to help us because a lot of people that don't listen, that don't read, that don't trust, that just everything black is bad, they're going to suffer. They're going to either be debilitated, they'll be growing tails or something a few years from now. Whatever happens, they get sterilized. There will be no more people like them, which might be a good thing. Okay. Judgment is here, and we're going to have to do better. But back to the show, I want to say to you that I really thought was interesting was that the sister with the data didn't seem to appreciate the fact that I came with data.
Right.
And my thing is, I didn't mind them having books. I didn't know what the conversation was really going to be about. I came, and the other thing that I thought was interesting was for them to attack my Black Brazilian female friends as dirty feet.
Right.
And I would just tell you, I want to tell you our story about Black Brazilian women, the Black Brazilian woman that I love very much. And I mean, they actually made you love women more than I ever did before, just being around them. They were good friends. They were kind. They were everything that you thought you were taught by my mother, what women were. They seem to have that in their culture. Okay. Now, I remember having a shirt on like I have right now that's wrinkled. Thank you very much. And I was going to go to the bar to meet my friend. Trying to think what is his name. It'll come to me, but I was going to see one of my friends, and she stopped me before I could leave the house to go to the bar. I was just going to. Oh, my friend's name is Andre Chagas, and I want to talk to Andre, and she asked me, where are you going? I says, I'm going to the bar. She says, where are you going? I says, I'm going to the bar. She says, you're not going anywhere. I says, why not? She says, do you respect me? I says, of course I respect you. She says, really? I says, yes, I respect you. I love you. And she says, no, you don't. I says, why would you say that? She says, because you want to leave my house looking raggedy. You're my man. Nobody's going to respect me if you've got on wrinkled clothes. I'm going to look like I'm a lazy bitch. Why would you make people think that I didn't care about you? And it says, I don't, I wouldn't ask it. Trust me, I would not ask any of the sisters in America to iron or do. Brother, we do all this stuff ourselves.
Right.
And I says, look, you don't have to iron my shirt. You know what she said to me? I do. Take your shirt off and take your pants off too. And she ironed them. Then she gave them back to me and says, now you can go out. I want people to know that I care about the man I have. And I was like, it blew my mind. Ladies listening, I've never asked any woman to iron clothes for me. I've never expected it. I would never demand. I wouldn't in my worldview and how I came up with pork chop feminism, women really shouldn't be troubled to do much of anything for a man. I mean, except for stuff that, is absolutely what's theirs. And so these women down there, she was, I don't know, she was happy to do it. I was more upset than she was, thinking, I don't want a woman to be a slave. I don't want to be a woman all over a stove and that. I don't want to do that. You don't want that either, Brother Kulik, do you? But these women were like, no, I'm your woman. I want you to look good. I want other people to know that you're cared for. That blew my mind that there was pride in how I looked. For her, she would intervene. I know sisters here, if your shirt's wrinkled, your shirts, you need to fix your tie. They'll tell you all the bad stuff about yourself, but they would never help you be
Right.
presentable. Women are supposed to be men's helpmates.
Right.
She not only that, I like cooking. In this house, I do most of the cooking now. My mother doesn't like to cook as much. When I was with Claudia, I didn't get to cook. In fact, they would kick your ass if you tried to get in the kitchen. If you tried
Right.
to cook, these women would beat you up.
Right.
And they'd say, "What do you think? I'm a bitch? Are you calling me a bitch?" That's no, I just want to cook. Why didn't you ask me if you want something to eat?
Right.
I'm thinking you're busy. She says, "I'm your woman." And I says, okay. And I'm trying to say to y'all, ladies, I'm used to just fix my own stuff. Most relationships between black men and black women are like college roommates. You get your own food, you do your own laundry, you just live together, you share bills. You're not really engaged in the other person's life. It blew my mind. Girlfriend, uh, they did not allow me to cook. It, I and I love cooking. To I do it. If I'm gonna be your woman, I'm gonna make certain that you eat. You will be loved and taken care for. You're my man, right? Now I did stuff for her too, and so she loved me. But I know here, and like I said, I wouldn't ask anyone to iron or wash or do it. None of that. I'm used to doing it myself. A lot of we men have been trained to be bachelors, to never be married. Everything we do for ourselves is if there's no need for another person. A lot of you sisters don't understand that one of the reasons that these families stay together is that the women were took pride in loving and taking care of a man. In
Right.
this culture, I ain't doing all that, and right. And a lot of women, they can't fuck, they can't cook, they can't do anything except complain. Sometimes they make good money, they don't like to manage it. And a man's supposed to be in a situation that's unfulfilling. And by the way, middle class, high earning black women are the most frigid, the ones least likely to have a baby and have the least amount of sex. So the professional ones, the biggest assholes, give out the least amount of pussy, can't cook, can't fuck. And a man's supposed to want to get with that and not be able to have children, not do this. He has to think about every word he says. If he says God, God, I'm sorry, God, it, because you don't want to say he, that's a female man. And they have this feminist bullshit. That's like a roommate in college. That's not a loving environment that's reciprocally sacrificial.
Right.
And so I'm going to go on. Brazil. Uh, you walk down the street, you see a woman, if you like when you speak, and if a woman can tell, what, who are you? If they think you've got any education or good sense, if you're respectful and you're not grabbing someone's breast or talking dirty to them, these folks will say, "Hey, look, are you married? Casado? Okay, you married?" If you say no, they say, "Oh, you want to get married?" Says it doesn't have to be me. I have a lot of friends. They'll tell you you're pretty. You know what? You need someone to help you dress. I'm going to get your hair cut, and I want you to come by my house and have dinner. And I want you to meet my friends and my cousins. And you pick which one you want. Forgive me, I didn't go to another country to meet women. I went to learn about human rights violations of Black people. I'd heard all about, I'm not interested in prostitution or strippers. I didn't go looking for any of that. But what I found was a real femininity that was aggressive. One of the first things that happened to me, I'm walking down the street in Rio de Janeiro. This beautiful black lady. She had copper skin. Um, our eyes met, and I walked a few paces, and my friend said, "You know, the lady likes you." I says, "Man, she doesn't know me. It's just the lady likes you." And so I turned around and looked, and she was looking over her shoulder to see if I was looking. Okay, are you hearing me, Kulik?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
And you know what she said to me?
What's that?
She said in Portuguese, "Os homens gostam uh, meu corpo." And she said, "Men like my body." That's the first thing. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, she was fine. And I had a camera. And she said, "Você quer tirar photo? You want to take a picture?" And um, and she says, "Olha meu lado superior." This is my best side. And she turned with her behind facing me so I could get a picture of her looking over her behind for the camera. This is, oh my God, this is nuts. Because I meet sisters here, you can't even say hi to them and them speak back. I'm not talking about touching, taking pictures. I don't
Right.
invade people's space like that.
Right.
That lady's like, I want to meet men. I like men, and she wasn't a prostitute. But so a man halfway looks at her, "What, you like me?" I, she says, "I can tell. I worked you. you, you, I was in your brain, dude. Just admit it. I'm pretty. I got you." It's been 30 years. I remember seeing her. Okay. She didn't have a problem with me as a man finding her attractive. In fact, she played around with it. One of the reasons she did was she could tell I'm not rude. I wasn't going to break boundaries, whatever. And in fact, here, we were talking about going in stores and the rude black women, like going to Howard University, brother. What I was saying is
Yeah.
that my buddy who lives in Oakland always got everything he wanted in the offices at Howard from the female staff. If I went in, I never got it. And I was trying to think, I'd go in, be very polite, say hello, this is what, and it wouldn't get it. And I learned that my friend would go in and he would sexualize, hold the women's hands, touch their arms and shit. And he'd get everything. And it blew my mind. Wait a minute. I was brought up with my strict religious mother and father, always to respect women, give their space, don't touch them, keep your hands to yourself, show. And I would always go in polite, respectful, and get basically my face psychically spit in.
Right.
And I learned from my friend, he would sexualize, he would get everything he wanted.
Right.
And that meant that these black women expected people, even these older black women expected younger black men to sexualize with them in order to get the most basic things that they're supposed to get, that their tuition paid for.
Right.
Black men don't complain about this, black women. I had a buddy who used to teach at Morgan University. He couldn't get his business cards. Working there 2.5, 3 years, he never could get business cards from the secretary in the office of journalism at Morgan State. We went to dinner or lunch or something, and I said to him, you could get your business cards if you really wanted them. I said, "You're in the way of getting your business cards from the secretary in the office."
Right.
And he said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, let me tell you what's going on. I've never been to your office at Morgan State. The secretary that runs a department at Morgan State is a good-looking woman, late 40s, early 50s. She's single. She likes you, And she resents the fact that you come in the office, you get your mail, you do everything that you're supposed to do as a professional. You
Right.
respect her, but you've never sexualized with her, not even once. And
Right.
she's teaching you that she can make your life miserable because you haven't acknowledged that she's sexual and that she could be desired.
Right.
That's why you don't have your business cards. That's why you don't get your Xerox copies. That's why your syllabus is done late, because she doesn't think that you might screw her if the circumstances were better.
Right.
And he says, I don't believe it. I says, do you want me to get your business cards next week? I says, give me the office number. I says, let me tell you what you tell her. You need to tell her that you're calling to apologize for being so caught up in your work that you never told her what a wonderful job she did in making the office so beautiful, that she's always so fragrant, her hair, her clothing. She's such a wonderful model of Black womanhood. And he just wanted to take a few minutes to thank her for modeling that to the young women at the school. He repeated it. Before he could finish, she says, your business cards will be sent to you next week, sir. His mind, he's from Nigeria, his mind was blown. He says, you mean I need to sexualize to get business cards? I said, yes. Yes, you do. And by the way, he quit, but it blew his mind that basically he needed to almost, be in affair mode to get the regular services that her salary paid for her to deliver to him. And we
Right.
Black men deal with this all the time. I know
Yeah.
my buddy who was on the phone with you has lost two or three jobs for not screwing his female boss. The assumption is every Black man, you have a big Black donkey dick and you will screw anyone, and you're not selective or choosy. If I cock my legs open, you should jump inside there like your life counts on it. And not only do a whole lot of sisters think that way, their white female competitors think so too.
Facts. Facts. I've seen on many occasions and dealt with this many times. And you got to be careful too. I mean, you got this Me Too and all this kind of crap going on. But yeah, if you don't, this is what I call it. If you don't bow down or suck a woman's ass, and I don't mean literally, if you're not bound down to her sucking her ass and basically subscribing to her ego, they're going to put you in a certain box and treat you a certain way. So what I do nowadays, I play a game called Mysterious Man. So I come in the room, I give off these certain pheromones or whatever you call it. I look at them, but I don't do too much. You know what I'm saying? I just give a little bit of action. Because a lot of guys, what they do nowadays, they do a lot of simping, and I really relate simping and cooning as the same thing. And this is what's fucking this community up. We have these over sexualized, angry, masculine women. Then we have these coon simp niggas that are controlling things. So what the simp
And you
niggas
know
do, they
what?
give them power.
They're cunt coons.
Yes, yes,
And they play, and they are into cuntatics.
yes. Yes, and for example, they have something called OnlyFans, where men pay lots of money to see women in videos and in photos. These men are not even getting a physical touch from these women. For example, I've never subscribed to OnlyFans. I've never spent no dollars on that shit. But any man subscribing and putting money into OnlyFans and shit like that is a fucking loser. These women haven't even washed your back. And there's women on there making millions of dollars, making $200,000 a year, and these men are just giving their life earnings to these women. They haven't even never met them, not even talked on the phone with them. So this is a problem, especially in the Black community. We have a lot of simps. I'm not saying pimping is good. I'm not saying disrespecting women is good, but we have a lot of female natured minded men that let women do whatever to them. And that has to stop. Y'all got to stop giving them money that they don't earn. You have to stop giving them pay raises they didn't earn. You have to treat everybody the same. They're preaching all this equality shit.
They don't. They don't, brother. I don't see the equality. I can
Right.
tell you, I live just a few blocks from my high school.
Right.
If you had a black male teacher, typically, if you raised your hand as a young black man, they only helped the girls.
Right.
And that's I'm not even jealous. Just the thing is, when someone tells me about inequality and how women don't get anything, some of you black men in here, you know that's true. That boys, basically a black man was told, well, dude, you got to get it for yourself. And it would help the girls, and the girls got higher grades than the boys, and it's presumed girls are smarter than boys. It's bullshit. If women were smarter than men, black women, explain all the bastards, explain all the fucked up relationships, explain all the carnage that's on women's watch. If they were so much smarter than men in every instance, somebody's lying, and it's not me.
Right. You know, and it's crazy. Like you just said, Dr. Short, you know, we'll put our own brothers through all these loopholes and
rules and regulations and all of that, right?
But when a little girl comes in, not little girl, but I mean, when a woman comes in the room, their backbone gets weak. You know what I'm saying? We get twinkled out in the eyes. We don't have our masculine base and masculine.
But that dick bone gets hard. So I'll give you an example. When you're a teacher in school, if a boy needs to use the restroom, you give a boy hell for going to the restroom. You may not even let him go. Man, put your hand down. If a girl needs to use the restroom, you better not let her go. And if she's gone for 40 minutes, that's her business. Trust me, and black women, y'all don't see that. But all of this inequality, it's throughout our community. I remember being young. We all stand at my aunt's house. We're going to go somewhere. They tell the boys, okay, you guys are going to shower 3, 4 at a time in the shower, which is kind of queer to me. Y'all need to be in and out of that bathroom, all 4 of you, in like 5 minutes. The girl go in the restroom and be there for an hour.
Right.
And so that's I can recall all of us, like 4 of us in a bathroom, be in and out in 5 minutes. The girl being there for an hour.
Right. I'm
not jealous that they got the hour, but don't you see the inequality? If the girls spend an hour in the bathroom, there's that many people in the house, and they would, I don't know what they're doing in the bathroom. Some of that stuff they could have done in their room. That meant if you had to take a piss, you went and used the laundry sink, or you went out into the yard. If the sister needed to piss or use the restroom, no matter how long, you had to get out so she didn't have to go outside. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but I'm almost saying, wow, so much for one and so little for the other. We see these outcomes for black men. And so little. And by the way, Mimi's talking about these teachers. A bunch of y'all, yes, I saw a lot of pedophile behavior among black male teachers in particular, with young women in school, and it was never done. Now, there were black women that were pedophiles too. The art teacher at my senior high school was screwing the guys on the basketball team. I've seen that too. The nurse at my elementary school liked one guy. His name was Ricky. He had a big penis. So she would always have him come in for checkups. And that was when we were in the 6th grade. So we have deviants in these schools, and these are black people. I'm not talking about white people.
Right.
And by the way, if it had been a male having a female come down for as many checkups as what this nurse gave Ricky, he would have been busted. Facts. A woman looking at a boy's penis like once a week for weeks at a time.
Right.
No discussion.
Right. And the person said up here,
we've got, in fact, a significant number of the pedophiles in our community, pimps in our community, people who are molesting, who let their boyfriends screw their male and female children, are black mothers, aunts, stepmothers, grandmothers. Had a very bizarre experience in South Africa. I'm going to say it for the first time. And by the way, they're in Nelson Mandela's family. This lady, I guess because of staying with her, because I I didn't meet my contact in Cape Town. Stayed with them in uh, the ghetto is called Guguletu in Cape Town. So I was there in the hood, and the lady, I guess, thought I was going to screw her. Didn't even ask me, and maybe I don't like you. When I didn't screw her, and the house is small, I instead of giving me enough stuff to sleep on the couch because it's cold in Cape Town, the wind blows, you have to be there, right? She had me sleep in the same bed as her grandson. And literally, she thought I would bother the kid. And it's like, I'm serious. She's gonna see if I was a mafi, is the word for faggot in South Africa, to screw the grandson. So she'd have a way to get some money out of me. Oh yes, this is what happened. This happened. I was so embarrassed. I had to go and tell this boy, I'm so sorry. I don't want to hurt you. There's nowhere else. I tried to sleep on the couch. It's too cold and no blankets. I'm a decent, I will not hurt you. Do you know she got mad that I didn't screw the grandson? You know, okay. Yes, this did happen. Yes, this did happen. And the perpetrator of this was the grandmother who resented her daughter. So she didn't mind somebody molesting the grandson if she could get paid off of it. I didn't expect, I don't know. When I communicated with this boy a few years ago, I was very nice to him. And I think because of what he went through, his traumas. No, this is South Africans in this instance. Although this is some deep craziness, and the grandmother set her grandson up to get raped. Okay, black women. Now that's not on y'all. Those are South Africa, but they got some same issues down there too. And there was the woman was the head of the house. It's matriarchal. Everything's female. Women are in control. I don't want to hear from y'all. Tell me a black man. I don't want to hear that. This was what grandma wanted. This is what grandma wanted. And the lady's logic is if he wouldn't screw me, then he'll screw a kid. Why did I have to want to screw anybody? Where did that idea come from?
And no, I don't know who
can you imagine someone hoping that you would rape their? My friend, had it not been so cold, I would have never slept near that kid, so he'd feel safe. I felt bad, but what could I do?
Right.
So when I hear about this stuff, some of the pimps, I will make reference to a family member. I won't say who, but their mama wanted to pimp them out and were grooming their own daughter to be a prostitute. And the grandmother too. Oh, yes, this does. Some of the pimps, yes, they are. A madam, y'all give it a nice word. A madam is a female pimp, ladies. She does it differently, but she still got them popping their pussy and she's getting paid for it. But we give dignity when a woman is having women sell their bodies. A man, a pimp is bad. A madam, well, she's classy and she has a house and has a long dress. I hate this double standard. I hate the hypocrisy. I hate pork chop feminism. And some
the
of the
worst ones too.
Pimps and human trafficking, some of the key people in human trafficking are women themselves, are women who prey on other women. A lot of misery in our community is women that hate women, women that don't operate with any standards, women that are immoral. And Of course, the men, pimps, beaters, abusers, but we have to have this conversation. We have an incest situation. I want to say this to you. My first year as a graduate student at Harvard University, I was a big brother for their charitable organization for undergrads. It's called Phillips Brooks House. Phillips Brooks was a philanthropist. Oh, you got a step?
No, I'll be right back.
Okay,
Let's turn my
well,
camera on.
okay, cool. Let me pull this up. Okay, hold on. Let me take him down. So that my first year, Philip Brooks was a philanthropist that lived in the Boston area that did all kinds of stuff to help people. And so they had a big brother, big sister program. And I got assigned a young kid whose name I believe is, if I can remember correctly, is Kevin. And when I would be around Kevin, this boy at the age of 7, 8, he would talk about women's bodies with such almost scholastic precision. I was like, damn, to be 7 or 8, this thing is beyond advanced. And ultimately, one of the things that happened was that I went to the projects, I'd go over and see them. I think, I forget these projects in Boston, Academy Homes projects in Boston. Maybe I've heard of them, Academy Homes. But he lived with his mother and his aunt and his younger brother. And he would always look at women and say, damn, that woman's got a pretty pussy. Damn, that woman's got a great ass. Man, I could rock that. And he would just say this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this kid is, wow. And he would just talk about, man, do you see the woman? Man, her pussy, that woman's pussy's tight. He said, that woman's pussy's so tight, man, I could lick it. And I'm saying, dude, you're 8. You don't lick pussy. Yes, I do. I lick pussy all the time. And I'm saying, Kevin, yes, you're 8 years old, Kevin. Okay, you're trying too hard. You'll get to it later. And it says, what do you mean later? I get it now. I'll get this weekend. And it says, you need to get some. This kid is 8. Tell me I need to lick some pussy. I'm going to get to how good it is. And he was telling me, man, I could smell. We went someplace. I took him to a place to get some food. And he said, man, I could smell that woman's pussy. It smells good. It smells good. This boy saying this thing. And this, I'm trying to say, God, help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. And said to Kevin, you've got to stop. Kevin, I don't mind you have an imagination, but you are not screwing grown women. And so what you know? You don't know. Anyway, a few months later, somebody attacked the family, broke into the house, stole their money, and they didn't have any food. It's the middle of the month, whatever, stamps are gone. So what I did was I took all the money I had and I bought about 3-4 weeks worth of food for the family. And I was struggling, but just, I figured, I don't know. Sometimes we're stupid like that, Brother Kulik. I didn't want to see this boy, his brother, his aunt, his mother. But one of my friends went to see them. A friend of mine, Reverend Anthony Bryant, who used to live up in, I forget, not Dorchester, but there's another. They have all these little towns, but this is basically a Boston area. I'm forgetting the area. I want to say Medford, but he didn't live in Medford. Mattapan. Okay. And what happened, Reverend Bryant called me and he says, I've been praying with the aunt and the mother, and man, there are a lot of problems here. He says, well, do you have any idea what's going on? I says, yeah, drugs. He said, yeah. And he said, there's one other problem. And I says, what you mean? The mother fucking her sons and the aunt too? And he says, you know? I says, yes, I know. I know. I know. I know what to do. If I call social work, whatever they take the kids, they'll get raped in another family, break up so it's like, God. But the mother and the aunt screwing these boys at 5 and 6 and 7 years old. These are black women screwing these boys. And what do you do? Who do you talk? What's if your mama's jacked up like that and you're good? What's the social services? God, what? A lot of you black women, you're looking, you're wondering what's up with these boys. I see these women getting pimp suits for boys 5 and 6 years old. I see women in church sexualizing with little boys. Well, he's hot. He gonna be a stud when he grow up. That speaking this kind of sexual confusion over their lives, even in church and families, and it's not checked. If I said to the girl, she's gonna be a fine ass hoe, people say, no, my daughter's no hoe. Even if they thought she's a hoe, out of pride, you don't do that. But they do this to little boys.
Right.
And no one says anything. In particular, if the perpetrators are female, it's okay. And so part of why I hate pork chop feminism is the idea that all these people that are wrong in our community are male, when this is 50-50, and in some instances it's not 50-50, depending on what the problem is. And the only way that we work through this is we can't be defensive. We
Right.
can't hide. We can't say to someone, hey, look, if you've been molested by your mother and your aunt and they're black, if you ended up with the white woman, don't say he has a problem. Uh, you know, yes, black women, you can fucking crap out. Where a man says, I don't trust them no more. Black women say this all the time about black men. Diane Carroll, Diana Ross, all of them black men, they couldn't do this right. And you know what? Black men basically say, okay, be happy. When a
Right.
black
Yeah.
man says he's gonna be happy, oh no, look at that faggot. Wesley Snipes, fuck him. Fuck Wesley Snipes. I don't think that right. And what you see is a very mean, vicious cattiness.
Right.
I'll tell you what Claudia told me. Claudia Roberta Silva, my friend from Brazil, she told me, uh, she said, I don't have any fear of you being my friend in America. She said, you know why? She said, American women are fuck ups. They don't screw, they don't love, they're hard headed, they're too combative, they don't cooperate, they don't want to love or care for a man. We here consider American women, all of them, are inferiors. We could take any woman, American woman's man, I could take any American woman's man I want anytime because they're weak, they're saps, they're not real women. They just wear the same clothes that we do. This is what this woman said to me. She says, but you know what? I don't trust you for 5 minutes here in Brazil because there's some woman who's going to try to outscrew me, outcook me, outlove me with you. That's why I'm angry when you came here. You went to another city before coming to see me first. I don't even care if you met nobody. I can't deal with you being any place that I don't know where you are. But if you're in America, you can stay for 5 years. Nobody will be better for you than me.
Mm.
Imagine that. I didn't know. I didn't ask for that conversation, sisters. She just told me. you'll come back. If you're really serious about me, you'll come back. I got this. I got you. And I still have love for her, even if we even if I haven't seen them. But the our sisters, by the way, there is no real yardstick for
Right.
measuring womanhood anymore, which is why you see these women with these eyelashes that look like a llama and shit.
They do. They really
They
do.
look like a llama. Look, I have a picture of the llamas and all that. I went. I think I put them up on my Instagram. I think you saw it.
I
I I
did. I did.
these sisters have eyelashes that look like llamas and shit, and and this weave off of a yak and all this other really silly shit. And you know,
I can't stand that weird shit. I
I
can't
mean,
stand it.
they've got more tattoos. They look like they've got barcodes for point of sale marketing and shit. I mean, all of this and people are overweight, bad attitudes, kids by 50 different men. I mean, nobody tells y'all that shit's outrageous. People don't want that. People will reject that. Black men are voting with their scrotum by moving to another group of women.
That's right.
And until there is a movement among Black women to correct this, to say we want to be the best women. In fact, Black women can be the best women. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Oh shit! Right. Damn, they really do. That's sad. They
Yeah, they
really
have.
do look like
It
that.
looks like it's a llama, man. I mean, and
Right.
so I'm just saying, there it is. And by the way, this llama I just heard is a lesbian. Those were both female. The white one and because there was no male, this Black one started jumping on the white one. They had to like separate them. So yeah. So I'd never met such a Black lesbian llama. There's
Damn.
something in the water, man. So, so I'm serious. If people free bombing, have you heard about free bomb where women don't wear drawers and they
Yeah, I
have
heard of it.
and the top of their behind is showing, so you see the top of
Girls in
their
my
head.
high school.
It looks
Girls
like
in my
it's
high school were doing it.
two cookies put together.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. 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 I just want to know what's the end game. With all this European feminism, all this stuff Black women are doing that are not good for themselves in this community. What are they trying to do? What's their mission? And I see
well,
it as ending the
their
race.
mission, their mission is to erase. They hate their own. They don't reproduce it. That happens sometimes. You get animals like cats. If you get a mother cat that's not necessarily pleased, they will eat all the kittens up. They'll destroy their own lineage. Rats
Right.
sometimes eat their own babies, depending on the stress or what the state of mind. You have postpartum depression where women kill babies. Um, what's going to happen is already happening, and this is a mental health crisis that needs to be addressed. You're going to see a lot of Black women in particular, professional ones. They're already doing it. They're committing suicide. First time Black women killing themselves. And part of the problem is that they have backed themselves into a corner where they're lonely. And now with this economy crashing, if they did have 401ks and other money, that money's been destroyed in the stock market. They're going to be old, broke, and alone. And they
Right.
didn't have grandchildren or children, so there's no one to take care of them. These are the kind of people that are going to get vaxxed or voxed. And it's unfortunate. And there are a lot of Black men that are going to die alone. We need each other. The end game is that there has to be a moral, ethical revolution in our community. The boule has to be destroyed. It has to be driven out of leadership in our community. Feminism has to be hated, worse than the Ku Klux Klan, the Nazis, or any racial terrorist group.
Yeah.
Uh, the LGBTQ thing has to be driven out of our community. We will always have Black people who are same-sex attracted. That's a given. But it can never be something. They wouldn't dare try to hijack the Latino movement or the Arab American movement or the Asian Pacific movement. We must drive out the sexuality traitors from positions of authority. in our community, all of them. And
Right.
Black men have to rediscover manhood and rediscover love for their children, for women. And they have to hold men. They have to become what I am. I'm an equalitarian. That is the V word. Mhm. Hold on 1 second. We have to do something for ourselves, love ourselves, care about ourselves, support ourselves. And we need God, Kulik. And a lot of people don't like that after I've done all this foul language. Well, I'll let Dr. Stella pray for me. We have to become more caring, and we have to be able to admit that we're wrong. A sister has to admit that she's wrong. You killed that baby inside of you. You're a murderer, but you can go to God and get forgiven and then tell other women it's murder. Okay. The financial collapse is coming. Yes, there's a financial collapse, but I'll tell you something. We can make it without money, but we can't make it without each other. We can grow our own stuff. If we started buying stuff, we could do it. We can make our own solar panels. This sounds crazy, but you could save your own shit and make methane, heat your house, do everything else. I know you look down on shit and you need to treat it before you try to grow vegetables with it so you don't kill yourself. You can use your own piss as fertilizer. I get great tomatoes every year. Piss is wonderful. Um, we don't need a whole lot. We can raise our own stuff, grow our own cotton, raise our own sheep, whatever, make our own clothes. We can grow hemp and make our own clothing, make anything. We have to make our own.
I just put up a
Yeah,
screen
me.
share.
Okay, you want to screen me? Yeah, I said that earlier on. I said that we said that this Tina had passed, and there was so much pushback, and people were acting as if we would make that up or that I need to lie or misinform people. I wouldn't try to do that. I may joke around sometimes, but I try to give people factual information. I'll give you a book, I'll give you a source over and over and over again. And it's interesting that people who come and counter you normally don't bring any sources. It's just their bad behavior, their arrogance, their ill-informed opinions, their puffed up sense of importance. I don't think I'm important. That's why I have a guest. I have him come in and talk. And he watched me as soon as we can get this figured out. As I do have, what's this thing? Media engagement is helping to stream and put out. And as we work out this, the image is blurry. Well, Mims, why don't you ask Brother Kulik for an email? Maybe he can send it to you.
Oh, the
So when
article there.
people complain,
Yeah.
hold it. There's a way that we should talk to each other. Okay, a lot of times, forgive me, the way people communicate, it comes across as rude or crude, even if you don't mean to. The more intelligent way, where you don't insult the person because they don't want it to be blurry, but in reality, it's a privilege that someone was able to provide it to you in the first place, right? May I have the image, please? Wonderful. Isn't that so Kulik? K Mims wants that. What's a good email for you to send this to them off of?
Y'all can. All right. My email is Kulik. There's my name up here on the info thing you see as you're looking at now. Kulik314. Again, it's Kulik314@gmail.com. And just send me an email and I'll shoot the same article to you and y'all can see it.
Yeah, just ask for it versus attacking. We're not deliberately giving people blurry images. It took us 2 hours to get online. I mean, did everything we're supposed to do. Yeah, Tiffany, I believe God's coming back, and a lot of people won't be here when he gets here because they're going to get vaxxed. So we could talk to each other differently. Just try it. It's the same way someone was saying I was attacking them. I didn't attack anybody, but I pointed out, and a lot of Black people don't like educated, minded people. You they find it offensive. Everything has to be humble. Yeah, that's garbage.
Right.
That's not how it works in the world. I didn't get all that to walk. Well, I know exactly what I was talking about. That's why I brought it up. Before that person came up with some excuse or BS to try to challenge or question me. Um, I don't tend to question people here in the chat. If you know a particular fact or information, I want to be informed. I don't want to try to, like, what is it, have a pissing contest with anybody over information. I think that that's stupid. If you know something I don't know, share it with me. It might be something that's not interesting, but then again, it might be. If you're showing me something new, I'm going to say, cool. I'm not going to push and attack you for having some information that I don't have. I do think that this is there's some very satanic stuff. You've heard about the Luciferium. This is what I was talking with last night. It just it so distresses me, but we need God. We really
Yeah.
do. I don't care who doesn't like me saying it. I'm not in this for popularity. I could care less about how people think about me. We need God. We need to get born again. Our ancestors, whether people want to admit it or not, we did have stronger families when there was a concept of God and right and wrong and absolutes. And when we threw that away, we threw away a lot of what held us up. And so that's how that goes. Let me see. Okay, I have a request. Someone's asking a question. Well, Brother Kulik, I'm gonna probably have to do a show on sanctuary cities. I need to get my friends from Chicago to talk about how we get messed over.
Right.
I want to make this very clear to everyone that just like my friend from Afghanistan, I have friends from all over. I do not hate other nationalities. I don't hate anybody, Mexico, Costa Rica, none of that. But I do hate when people persecute Black Americans. I do hate that, and I don't feel a lot of empathy. If you're killing and burning people up in their apartments in Los Angeles, if you're trying to bring some kids here illegally and they get put in a cage that Obama put up, well, what about the cage that y'all kill Black men in California, these gangs?
Right.
So my thing is, right? We're going to have a discussion on that. If y'all want to do that, we can talk about the threat that illegals and others pose to us. But the biggest threat to our people is the boule, the enemies from within, our traitors from within. I want to say to you, a lot of the LGBTQ Black people are into having sex with white men, Asians, Latin Americans, and all of that. And they're in coalitions with the people destroying us over
Right.
sex. So are the Black leftists. So are some of the silly Black conservatives or conservatives. Because I'm conservative, but I'm not a conservative. Y'all need to check out when I did the show the other day on Sputnik. I know it's a conservative host, and I have conservative values. Abortionist murder, babies out of wedlock are bastards, all that stuff. I'm right there. But I'm Black, proud, very happily that, and I don't want my people destroyed, even when I get angry and disgusted. even when I have to block their silly asses in my chat feed. Life
Right.
continues, right? Real Gary. Okay. We should have a firing squad, or at least something, a drop squad. Something needs to happen to these people. I just want to say to you that I want to thank you because I know it's time. Isn't it time for you to break off? You down in Texas, you don't want to do this much longer, do you?
No, I'm here. I'm on your side of town, but yeah, I mean, we've been doing it. I mean, it's
Well, yeah.
I just I just want to know. Last question: what do we do with this Black Caucus? How do we get them out of there? Because they're another problem
Okay.
in this
Well, you're
community.
on this side. Well, my brother, you've got followers, and so at least people. I've been saying this, Coonbusters. It would be wonderful to get us. You're thinking, man, how hard would it be for us to get a drafting committee to have what I suggest is to other people, a contract with Black America that
Right.
we write up a handful of us of things that we feel that the Congressional Black Caucus must do. And if they don't, we call on and help organize Black people to drive out congressional members by name that we
Right.
want to get rid of this person. In fact, we will give people so many days to sign this contract with Black America. And if they don't, we should take to them notarized signed letters of resignation that we're requesting from them
Yeah.
for treason against the Black community, for noncompliance, and take this shit and deliver the shit and film it and
Right.
start calling on people to say what these people have done and attack them over and over again. And if we teamed up with other folks, that if you don't sign on, in particular, if you don't want us to get our MFM, which stands for motherfucking money, so we can have an MFM movement, y'all, Coonbusters fighting for MFM, to take the MFM plan to the CBC, to the Leadership Conference for Civil Rights, and start telling them that we're going to begin to fight you. We're going to fight you in the churches. We're going to ruin people. And what we need, everybody, is the Black Central Intelligence Agency.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
our BCIA. The BCIA would be a group of Black people that get information on Black traitors and turncoats. And we do like WikiLeaks, but it would be Nikki Leaks. And
Right.
Nikki Leaks would put out information and flattering. So if Maxine Waters' husband is cheating on her, we publish it, pictures of him with the woman or something, and take a picture and put it out there, make certain that everybody sees it. Okay. And if we got any money, if we rolled up some money, we could pay people to be reporters and stuff. And can you imagine if you caught like that no good nigga that was pushing the 666 bill, the one that looks like Baphomet,
Right.
Bobby Rush,
Right.
because he's a womanizer, though he's a preacher, to catch him somewhere with the stripper someplace and put that picture up there.
Right.
See, the Israeli Jews use all these methods to make people do what they want. We Black people should use dirt to make these people, to make these mega pastors, to scare the shit out of these people, make people want to get out of public life because Black people become aggressive. And again, I'm one person. I don't have a whole lot, but I have some good ideas. We need to have a Kool-Aid party. The Kool-Aid party would be a grassroots movement of Black people for economic, cultural, and political power.
Yeah.
If you make a record like Fly Young Red came out with, Throw That Boy Pussy, you're familiar with that. Sure you are. Throw That Boy Pussy, yes you do. He made that gay record that thing should be pulled off of YouTube.
Yeah.
That people
Yeah.
should go after the record company. We should just act insane whenever anyone, you know what? If you even say someone Jewish is fat when they're overweight, they tell you they're anti-Semitic. If we became the same way to protect ourselves, if the descendants of Aboriginals and forcibly trafficked Africans in America, okay, every time you did anything, we went nuts. People would stop doing it because it's such a problem.
Yeah.
We let all this stuff go on. We let the incest in our community, pedophilia, rape, sodomy. We never stop anything. If we went after one person, let me tell you something. There's a woman who was fucking Elijah Cummings. I'm gonna just say it like that. And she had a child with Elijah Cummings. Okay, she knows who she is if she sees this. She can't stand me because I'm outspoken about the boule. I guess because you're fucking people in the boule, right? You don't like me. You think I'm too harsh because I'm actually for the people. They act like they're for the people. It's one of these professional type black women, but in reality, ultimately, you'll pop your pussy just like a streetwalker to get where you want to go. Real talk. Got mad when they saw I posted something up in Facebook Messenger. They blocked my post. So apparently, she's been watching my post. It's been making her angry, which is great. So and I did her a favor. I went and blocked her ass. You know, I don't need, I'm not trying to talk to your whore ass anyway. You don't need to see what I'm posting. We need to make people cognizant. There have to be consequences, punishments, not just for white killer cops of black people, but black traitors. We're the only people whose traitors get all the benefits and rewards. It's backward. That's like a rapist getting a wedding ring.
Yeah.
That's how black people are. I agree. It's calf and can. That's coon ass niggas. And so we could do this. We could start in the short term by attacking Lori Lightfoot and Muriel Bowser here in DC. The sacred cow of never holding black women accountable, either because you want some pussy or because you feel guilty about how failed black men are, or because women have to show solidarity for their sister when y'all all catty assholes. We have to start doing what we haven't done before. When black men came after Oprah Winfrey in 2019, that had never happened before. For a black celebrity of her stature to start having blacks like, fuck her, we don't care, we're not going to be polite. In fact, Oprah going after all those black men in 2019 was a straw that broke a lot of black men's back. It seems like, damn, every black man has to get attacked all the time.
Right.
If we go after, and I need your help, if we can go after Bow Wow and Dykefoot, and this becomes a thing that the black community is coming after you. There's a group of us that are just so damn crazy and angry till there's almost no way to satisfy us. They would stop doing this.
Right.
We have to decide to get tired. Now, it's almost time for you to go. I see anti-Afro Svengalves. Oh my God. You know that group that always bothers with Umar. Jesus, Umar, help him, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. But
Brothers and sisters, well, you need to look. It's anti-Afro Svengalis. Just look up anti-Afro and put in Umar. It'll come up. There's this white broad that probably wants to go with Umar. That just gives him hell. So he should have given her some of that Magilla gorilla. Maybe she'd stop bothering him.
Well, Dr. Short, thank you
Yes.
very much for having me on here as a guest. We
Okay.
appreciate your information, dedication to this community,
Mhm.
and your unique insight to this life experience, because we need your voice. We need men, or especially black men, to be saying and talking like you, because in my opinion, the world would expect, I'm not gonna say especially our women, but the world, I don't even say the world, but a lot of people want black men to be emasculated, gay, ignorant, dumb, and in jail and dead.
Now, before you leave me, how do you use the share the screen thing? Do you hit share screen for you
Yes.
to put up a document and you can pull it off your desktop, whatever?
So have whatever you want to share in your tabs on your internet, whatever you got using. I guess you got to use Firefox or Chrome with this. So once you see your tab up there, hit share screen, and then I'm just kind of going through it. You'll see your entire screen. Then you'll see application window. Then you want to see whatever the internet window you have open, and hit Chrome tab and hit that tab and hit share, and it should do it.
Share your screen. Okay, Chrome tab. Okay, so all one has. Okay, I got it. I don't know how to use this thing, but I will learn.
Yeah.
So I need to. Oh my God, I should put up. Do y'all want me to put up that story about the man with no clothes on in South Carolina? Have y'all heard about the man with no clothes on they took out of his house? They took a black grandfather and a black grandmother, both nude, out of their homes. Y'all want to see that article? And she has Gail. You know, we call her male king instead of Gail. Well, I want to thank you, Brother Kulik. You have to come back. I want you to come on with Brother Cersei. You got to meet him because y'all both millennials. I'm going to call Cersei. I'm going to call him right now and say he's got to come on my show again. And he thinks I'm joking. I don't know. I like getting along with people for long periods of time.
Yeah.
I don't change on people like that. If you don't change, I don't change. I'm going to say, please come back on my show. Please come back. Come back. The women liked him. He was fine. I'm going to screw him. I'm going to change him. I love when women, my pussy can change him. I mean, they think pussy can change better than Jesus. It's amazing. I call that vaginal conceit. There's a lot of it going on.
I ain't met no coach that changed anything, but hey,
well,
you want to build a team with me? I can build a team.
It can change with tax status.
Right.
Anyway. All right, y'all. Thank you. I want y'all to make it rain on him, make it rain on me. I got to save up. There may be a big protest in Chicago in January. I think they moved it from the 4th, maybe to the 11th. I want to go. I want to get another camera, better than my phone, so I can do better. But, you know, treat me like I'm white. Help me do better. I'm getting there. And again, I want to thank media engagement. If y'all are looking, if y'all have got platforms and y'all are willing to do a revenue share, we know a phenomenal person who can help blow up your platforms. They need to pay this person. I'm thinking I actually am going to cut a check. I might do it Thursday and just send my first payment because it's getting interesting here. It's getting better. And yeah, we want to be 10,000 strong, but I want to say this to everybody. I'm looking for interesting people to talk to. You do not have to be a celebrity. I'm not like the Judge Joe Brown show where the person's obsessed with celebrities. If you've got some facts and information, education, and you're not a pork chop feminist or a hypo masculine toxicity pimp, you're welcome. I'll even take certain white people, although I have a low tolerance for racist people, almost as lower tolerances for coons. No coons. I don't want any. This is a coon-free zone. But I want all of y'all to remember the words MFM. Don't get fucked up. And say fuck you to Fauci and to this garbage that they're running, okay? So, y'all, I want everybody to think about it. Don't get backed up. MFM, bless me. Y'all know how to catch me. wrandyshort@gmail.com is my email for guests, for inquiries. If you want to send me Zelle or PayPal, my Cash App is Dr. Randy Short. It is adding up. Thank you for all the contributions. Pretty soon, the good news is it's not all going to me. It's going to equipment and also my partner, Media Engagement. I got to sign something with them, but I got to kick them something. They've been with me all week, helping to get us through this. Okay, so love, peace, justice. Forgive me, I was late today. I've got 2 more days of taking antibiotics after I got my root canal. Then my energy level should be back to normal, and we should get some books and other stuff. So we're going to have a Nat Turner Christmas. I hope you can keep your heads. Okay. Peace, love, good night. Bye bye.